What's up, everybody? It's your boy who's centering himself here, Andrew Esquire, the legal mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. Hope you guys are having a great time today. You guys asked for it. I'm here. I'm in Tokyo, which means we got to do the anime episode. It's necessary to do the anime episode today. So that's what we will be indeed doing as I bring this computer closer to me. But I am very, very, very happy to be joined by some good friends of mine, fellow weebs in crime, Brendan, the anime guy, of course, and also the T-Man, who is back. It's been a while. It's been a minute. But
yeah, it has.
So angry. T-Man, it's good
such
to see you.
anger. Maybe I'm reminded of the reason why it's been a minute for the T-Man.
Why do people keep assuming I'm angry?
You can only bring the heat once every quarter. It's not more than that. It's too hot. The T-Man gets too hot. You're passionate, T-Man. You're passionate. You're a passionate man. You're passionate about tea. You're passionate about anime. You know?
So I've been told.
We feel it. We feel it.
Yes.
But seriously, though, it's good to be back with you guys. It's good to be here with you guys. Locals people, I'll have that chat up in a second, but we're live right now on Rumble. We're live on YouTube. And we'll be live on Locals in a split here. But good to see everybody up in the chat today. Also, what's up, Angry Canadian? Caught you in Akihabara, hanging out with you in Akihabara. It was really cool to hang out with you there. And everybody else who showed up in person to hang out for the meetup. Right, we actually had a pretty good turnout in Akihabara, and then we also had our main conference in Ginza near Tokyo Station, which was really awesome. So it's good to see more people interested in coming over to Japan and kind of seeing what's up here, kind of living that IRL anime life. So appreciate everybody that was able to make it for that. But guys, what I really want to get to today, first of all, everybody asked for an anime episode, but I have watched some really good anime. So I wanted to get some good recommendations, some other good things from you guys in things that you've watched recently and you really enjoyed or you really liked. It can be stuff that's older or newer, although with you guys are on the bleeding edge here. So I know you're probably watching a lot more newer stuff. But that being said, just any sort of recommendations, because we're coming into a time when a lot of people, they'll be traveling over the holidays, lots of time to, buckle down. It gets colder. You don't want to go out. You want to stay in. You want to live your weeb life. It's the best time. The winter is the best time for that.
That it is.
And real quick, 10 legal mindset memberships. Appreciate you so much, Tankrat. Thank you so much. Shout out to the homie over there hanging in the Emirates, and appreciate all you drop here for the channel. You really help support us on the legal mindset, and we really appreciate it. So thank you so much for that, Tankrat. And hopefully all you guys that are watching can click accept gift membership so we turn it into a sea of green. Natasha for $5 says, since we know this is not live, you're probably lurking. Open up the Locals chat. It's happening right now. So do not worry. I saw you, Natasha. Senpai noticed you. So the Locals chat should be now open or opening right now. So you're good on that front. And then with Mandalore Wise says, as an isekai enjoyer, you're gonna trigger T-Man here. I strongly recommend Slime Tensei. Excellent world building. No stupid I'm a god from the start protagonist. Wait, is Slime Tensei the same thing as like Reborn as a Slime?
I'm fairly positive, yes. And that's one of the good ones, so no complaints here.
Okay, yeah. Let me sorry, guys. Like, if you're gonna, okay, let me put it this way. Okay, that time I got reincarnated slime. Yes, okay.
Yeah,
I love you. I love you, weebs. But like, can you give the recommendation in the English translation? Like, okay. Let me just say this. Unless you're spelling it out in hiragana and kata, like, I really don't want to see the Romanicized version, right? And people are like, well, look at me. I know the Japanese version. It's like either do it all in English or do it in hiragana and katakana. Let me drop it into Google Translate, right? All right, Torgo says, but are we live?
We are now.
We have been live. We have been very, very live. So let me start with you, Brandon. Like, what have you been watching, and what are you recommending? I'm gonna have my recommendations. I got my things,
Ooh.
but I want to give you a chance to step up the bat here.
Well, this one, when I saw that you dropped this link today, I'm like, oh boy, I got to bring my A game, because this season has not only brought its A game, it has brought its S tier game. I cannot
S tier game.
It's
Yeah.
S tier game this season. The returning stuff is fantastic. The new stuff is fantastic. The stuff that you think wouldn't work has turned out to be fantastic. So,
Yeah, it's the best season I've seen since I started rewatching anime back in 2018.
yeah, I would have
Really?
to agree. The most consistent.
That's actually
yes.
really glowing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, considering
Wow.
that I started off this season with 40 shows that I could watch out of 62 possible. So I'm not including anything that's got second season, third seasons that I haven't seen the first seasons for. But out of this out of the new crop, so I'm just going to limit it to brand new shows this season.
Okay.
Of course, you and I we watched Shangri-La Frontier. That is still A tier, S tier.
I thought that was really good. Like, just
Yeah.
watching it with you, I was like, this is really good. I want to watch more of this. I'm just gonna wait till a little bit more of it comes out, so there's a bit of a backlog. But it was great.
I think you've got 4 episodes now that you can do that. So
Yes.
the other show that, when you think about it, it shouldn't work, but it works extremely well. And I always butcher the name of it, but let me share the screen here. There we go. This show here
Perfect.
is so good. You wouldn't think that a slice of life-ish type of fantasy show would be so good, but this is fantastic. Frerin, Beyond Journey's End.
I watched the first episode of this one, to be very fair. I did watch this one.
Very good.
There's something real quick. There's something I want to say about this show. For some people, I know binging is a lot of people's favorite thing to do. For this show in particular, I highly recommend you do not binge it. If you're gonna start it, do just 1 episode a day, because it's a
So
type
much
of
to
show
take
that's
in.
more of a saga. Yeah,
Mhm.
there's stuff you need to take in, and if you just kind of try and steamroll through it, a lot is going to be lost. They released the first 3 episodes at once, and so I watched all 3 of them, and I felt like this is good, but something is off about the show. I can't put my finger on it. And then when I began to watch it slower, when the episode coming out, like, okay, that's what it is. I needed just a little bit of time to just let these things sink in.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
watched the first episode, and I totally agree with you guys. I had to stop because I felt like there was so much like emotional weight. There's so much going on in those episodes. It's like you kind of need to digest it a little bit. Also, it's more of that melancholy feel that needs to like sink in, you know. I don't think you can do that with a binge. It's not like an action anime or something else. So
Well, there's going to be action later on.
Yeah, this
no,
one definitely.
I understand that. But it's
Yeah.
like the feel of it was very plodding, right? In a
Yes.
good way, right? So in a
Yeah.
good way, like you felt the journey, like when they're moving around and going places, you kind of felt the weight of that time. You felt the weight of that distance. So yeah, I agree with you. Look, I like it. I will watch more of it, but I am enjoying waiting to watch the rest of it, right?
Yeah,
I
and
think it's a good
you
decision.
will. And this one, as was mentioned, this one started earlier, about a month earlier than the rest of them. So this one has 8 episodes already out. I cannot recommend this one enough. The look of it is fantastic. The animation's fantastic. Character designs are fantastic. And who would have thought that a slower paced slice of life type of fantasy show would work? And it, a lot of these shows, when you're dealing with demon lords and the hero's party that goes to defeat them, you get some parts of it. You may either get the whole adventure of it or that. This one, they finish it within the first 5 minutes. But you never see the aftermath, the consequence, the decades, if not close to 100 years after the fact. And having a character that is so long-lived, like the elf is in this, as she said, the 10-year journey was maybe 1/100th, maybe, of her life. And having that concept of time be so off kilter in comparison to her human companions or even her longer lived dwarf companion, it changes the complexity of everything, and it's gorgeous. I cannot recommend this one enough. This one is S tier, easy.
Okay, well, that's actually good. Like if you're just gonna go in with like your glowing recommendation, you're out of the park. Like this is one. I saw somebody in the chat say this is anime of the year, right?
I think
Finest anime of the year. Like that it could win. I mean, that's pretty strong because this has been a damn strong year. If you're saying that of all of the things they put out, including the season 2s, the season 3s that have come out, you're putting this near the top or at the top. That's pretty damn strong.
Yeah, I think it's right there in contention with it, and it's yeah, the pacing of it is also a little different because of all that, but yeah, definitely do it. They play it mostly straight, a little bit of chibi here and there, but it's pretty toned down in comparison to a lot of the other shows that use it for, you know, the comedic effect. So easy. This is an easy one.
Cool. Couple comments here. Let me grab these. Butterbiscuit92, member for 2 months, says, check out I'm Standing on a Million Lives. Another isekai with a loner MC who has to learn to attempt to care with others with some fun fights, starting from the bottom and getting stronger. Well, I do like the started from your bottom, now you're here. I mean, that's sort of the growth arc, right? Obviously, we see heroes' journeys in anime. We do not see heroes' journeys in movies anymore because that's totally not acceptable in a PC world. Because heroes are typically men. But that being said, yes, we'll definitely check out Standing on a Million Lives. Butterbiscuit also says Tsukimchi, Moonlight Fantasy, and Konosuba, 2 of the funniest animes you will ever watch with plenty of isekai action to boot. Okay, very good. I have not heard of Moonlight Fantasy. I have, of course, heard of Konosuba. Very, very famous. But yeah, thank you very much, Butterbiscuit. We'll take those recommendations to heart. All right, let me give T-Man a chance here. So, of the things you've been watching this quarter, what are some of the top standouts for you?
Right. Before I go into this quarter, I want to do just a little bit of shilling for my
Show.
for my YouTube channel, because just yesterday I released anime. I released a video on an anime called Mushoku Tensei, the greatest isekai. Now, so some of you know that I am very much not a fan of isekai, but Mushoku Tensei is one of the best shows I have ever seen in general, and I crown it the best isekai. Watch my video, you'll see.
You crown it the best isekai. So this video right here, right?
Yes, and it's also upset a few people because the show is a little
because you've got the picture of him wearing the panties on there, you know? Is that why?
Well, it's polarizing because people, we were talking about the hero's journey, very few people nowadays seem to understand what a redemption story actually is.
Yes.
And so the main character in the previous life was a horrendous piece of human garbage.
Degenerate, yes. He was a degenerate.
Massive
he was
Massive
all of you guys out there, I know you. I see you in the locals chat posting the octopus hentai memes. I see you.
Yes.
I see you.
But what the anime does, and it's brilliant, is they make us hate him, but it was all just a beautifully done setup because you get his backstory of why he became what he became. He wasn't just born like that. He went through a horrible traumatic experience, pretty much just shut himself off from life, and just things went downhill. And so when he got a chance to go into the next life, he doesn't just magically become all better and all of his past sins are gone and all of his not so nice traits just disappeared. He goes on a journey to make himself better, to fix the things that was wrong in his life. And he uses that same energy to help fix many other people. So it's a giant arc of redemption to every character he meets. It's fantastic. So that is what I recommend.
And the thing is that with that show, with Jobless Reincarnation, it is only like the characters only developed over the season. So the latest season is now out. I actually was watching it. I haven't finished it, but I've gotten mostly through it. But as the character goes on, it gets further and further from that like original degenerate character in the beginning to the point where, and also welcome Corpus Delicti. Hopefully you're working now. Can hear you typing though, brother. So over time, like this character has ended up getting redeemed because they've come so far from just being a shameless pervert to being somebody that actually cares about people. But I will say, Jobless Reincarnation, hold on, Jobless Reincarnation is the only one where there was an ED arc. We got to talk about that, right?
I talk about that because it shows.
Okay. Like I will say this. I will say this, T-Man. I've never seen it done in any other anime where there's an entire segment about erectile dysfunction, right?
And what's beautiful about it is when you hear about it, I avoided this show for a long time because all I saw from other people was just the lowbrow lewd joke stuff with no context of it. It's amazing because it actually fits into the character and the plot in a really not wholesome, but it does it in a way that's not actually lowbrow, lewd, and crude. Because it's
it's actually wholesome. I mean, because not. I mean, I'm not trying to spoil anything here, but like the way he gets it back is in like a wholesome manner.
Yeah, and
a very wholesome manner.
And why it ended up being like that is because really horrible things happened to him that kind of sent him spiraling back to the person he used to be.
Right.
So there's a whole arc behind it. It's not just LOL. The jokes do write themselves, but there's just so much more to it, which is why it was so beautiful to have. It's the very first time that I've ever cheered for a man getting an erection.
Well, look, listen. I mean, it was mostly, it kind of shows where they're like he's going through and he's like, can I get healed for this? Do you have like healing magic for my penis? And they're like,
no.
No, and it's like as in the real world, this is mostly a psychological thing, right? So it's like fixing your fucked up psychology, like you said, because he had a horrible past, right? So it's fixing his fucked up psychology that's failing to make his dick function properly. It's not always in the real world psychological, but that is a huge factor for most people. So I was like, get that penis hard and stuff that elf waifu. Let's do it. And
so
successfully achieved,
Yep. All right, so that's in terms of this season. Oh, there is so much stuff. Let's see how my memory goes. Something that began to come out, it was a little bit late to come out, then they did all 3 episodes at once, is something called the Apothecary Diaries.
The Apothecary Diaries?
Yes. I was wondering about that.
It's fantastic. It's right up there with Freerun, I think. I also might be saying it because I'm a little bit biased because it goes to a lot of stuff which I personally like. The Apothecary stuff. You know, the main character uses a lot of verbs and whatnot. She's a great main character. She feels genuinely distinct. And it's set in, I'm not sure which part of ancient China, but it's back when they had eunuchs. And just the way everything, the way everything just works is, just watch it, you'll see. A show which I expected to either really love or really hate, ended up really loving, is, I forgot the full title, but something like The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You.
Oh my word.
Wait,
I tried to watch it. I tried.
It's called A Bunch of Girlfriends That Really Love You?
100. So the basic plot line for this one is that God messed up, and while everybody is supposed to have just one soulmate, he accidentally made it so the main character has 100, except he has to have every single one of them love him or they die.
What? Oh, wait, what?
Every one of them has to love him or they die. It's a very silly show.
Their luck will run out, and they, because of how far down their luck and their everything will go, they'll end up being killed in some unfortunate accident. And I tried to watch it, I really did, but man, it's just it's probably something that I would enjoy if I was 20 years younger and single.
Honestly, by episode 3 becomes surprisingly wholesome when they introduce the other one. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. The first 2 episodes is just, this is just funny slapstick BS. And then episode 3 hits and it's just, oh God. Oh, you hit my heart instead of my penis. I did not see that coming.
That's good. That's good. Speaking of which, we got a $10 from Jackals of Terra Argentum, which says, if you're taking requests to Peanut Gallery, which we certainly are, Peanut Gallery, Peanut Away, it says, Crest of the Stars and Banner of the Stars for the A-Stars, tacky romance anime, sure, but it's pro-social Darwinism and features a race that literally destroys uggos. I am pro-uggo destroying, so good on them. Good on them for purging. Good on them for purging.
Oh, yes.
Maria Vargas, who says, finally, thank you, Andrew T-Man, anime guy. We're here for you, baby. I know, you guys, honestly, people, you guys really love my anime episodes, and because you keep asking for them and you demand them, I'm going to do them on a regular basis. I think once every month or every other month is pretty fair. You know, there's a lot of stuff out there, especially. So yeah, happy to do it for you, Maria. And you guys begged for it. And I am but a man of the people. I am but a weeb of the people. Pig Rat says, I have been reading the manga and a couple of spin-offs of Jobless Reincarnation. Can't wait till the anime catches up. Yeah, the anime is not all the way up to the manga. So there's a lot there. And apparently it's not the story. The real story isn't even about this generation. It's like the future generations, right?
That's what my bud Shum, I guess he's read the whole thing. And he says, yeah, what we're in right now is just the prelude.
Right.
So yeah, we're in for a hell of a journey.
This is the first time I've ever decided to pick up a light novel from watching an anime. I've picked up manga on occasion, but it's the first time I want to pick up a light novel. That's how good it is, folks.
Yep. It will be very, very interesting to see like how they play that out for like the next generation, right? Like when that comes along. Carlos Estrada says MC had that Drexel redemption arc. No, Drexel doesn't need a redemption arc. He's fine. Drexel is fine. So all right. You degens out there. And then here, Jobless Incarnation is really, really good though. I would recommend everybody check that out. Okay. Corpus, hopefully I think your background's a little better now. Thanks, bro, for fixing
that. Is that good? Am I good now?
Yeah, a little bit better.
I'll just mute my mic if needed.
Yeah.
Adjust a bunch of shit. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Anyways, but welcome here. I know you're a good friend of the channel. I'm one of my local supporters. And when I said I'm doing an anime episode, and I did one, I think previously, you got a little butthurt about it, right? You know that you weren't invited. And listen, I am not here to hurt butts, right? Hey, that is not my job. I'm not trying to clap your cheeks.
That's Racket's job. I was drunk, so it didn't matter. I'm just giving you shit.
Yes, Nick, particularly with his Avril Lavigne belt, which is very questionable. I don't know if any of you guys
I did see
saw that photo, but just to like publicly embarrass this man because he deserves my public embarrassment and shame. It was very, 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 very metrosexual. I'll just pull this up.
It gave me flashbacks to my ex-fiance.
Yeah. I mean, it gave me flashbacks to like literally he was a boy, she was a girl situation here. I mean, look at this. Look at this belt. Look at this belt. Can we talk about this? Can we talk about this, please? Like
I can't see it.
And with sneakers, you're at Mar-a-Lago rackets. Come on. Look at this. Look at this Chad over here who's dressed properly, Ron Coleman, right? You know, who like can dress himself. And then,
he
Nick,
like who's got to an emo concert, man.
Boy, he's got such conflicting elements here. He's got the sneakers, the belt, the jacket. I mean, listen, man, I love
you. The 2000s called and they want their fashion back.
Yes.
Exactly. It's very questionable.
Skinny pants too, so.
Yeah, the skinny pants. Yeah, come on, Lady Rackets.
It's a really weird outfit.
It's kind of questionable, like some anime out there. Corey Casper 5 says, not sure if been mentioned yet, but Ascendance of the Bookworm has to be the best isekai. Easily beats out Jobless Reincarnation, in my honest opinion. I've not even heard of that.
Oh, Ascendance of the Bookworm.
Because this is something somebody said in my Discord, the same thing when I posted the video. Like,
really?
Yeah. So now I have two people from two completely different scenarios saying the same exact thing. So maybe I will check it out.
Is it made it to an anime form?
Yes,
or is it
3 seasons of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just pulled this thing up, so
doesn't
look like hentai. So I think I can actually share this real quick.
Kids in your hentai.
Just the Wikipedia here. So, this series over here. Cool. Definitely we'll check it out. I'll stop nothing to become a librarian. That's okay. All right. Well, I'll check it out. It looks wholesome, I guess. So
It's on my list of
but I think to be honest, the cool thing about Jobless Reincarnation is that he starts bad and is redeemed, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't like start wholesome and stay wholesome. I mean, look, I like those animes too, where the character's wholesome and stays wholesome. But I think what makes it really interesting, and to me, some of the ones I've enjoyed, and I'll give a little bit of a spoiler because I did not know this anime. I know this anime has been around for a while. Okay, so like, don't jump on me. This is not a new one, but my like far and away favorite, and this is now like up there for like my favorite animes of all time, just because I really fucking enjoyed how they did this one. Was
Dragon Ball Z.
World's Finest Assassin. So if
I
you guys
love
haven't seen World's Finest Assassin gets reincarnated. This one, which I learned is from the guy who made Redo of Healer, which explains a lot, right? I'm like, why do I like this so much? Oh, it's from the Redo guy. Oh, okay. And he really doesn't give a fuck because the situations are like very practical in real world, but it's about a guy who got fucked over for his only principle in the previous life being, I'm going to be faithful to the organization, faithful to the Assassin's Creed, right? Like, this is what I'm going to go forward and do. And then he gets another chance and he's like, all right, I'm going to have my own personal morals and ethics, and I'm going to have to hold everything in line with my personal morals and ethics. And it has to check out with that before I actually do it. So if I'm going to kill somebody, it's got to check out with that. But he's still uber practical and does not hesitate. That's the one thing I hate in anime is like the hesitation, the indecisiveness, should I do this or does my fucking vagina hurt? Right? There's literally zero of that. It's all like fucking go. The decision's already been made. Like the contingency plan is already in place. Like it was really good. So this one for me was like one of my absolute 100% favorites.
So
like
Andrew
I cannot recommend enough.
Speaking of the world's greatest assassin, has the Eminence in Shadow been talked about in the stream yet?
So I've seen it in the comments. So a lot of people in the comments have been dropping Eminence in Shadow. Okay.
Yes, it's
a lot of people in the comments. I've been noticing here, and guys, don't think I don't notice. I read all the super chats, of course, but I do notice you guys dropping that, and I do see that Eminence in Shadow.
I did just watch the recent episode today, and I just love that fucking show.
It was
a
not
phenomenal series.
What you said, it was good or not good, T-Man? What'd you say?
It was not for me. I dropped it after episode 5. After the I Am Atomic scene, I just said, nope, this is encompassing too much of what I dislike about isekai anime. Which sucks because the first episode was probably the best first episode of an isekai I have ever seen. And then
what is it that you dislike about isekai in general? Like, what are the things that you dislike? Like the elements you dislike?
I'll go from the simple to the more abstract philosophical. I actually talk about it in the video I posted yesterday. The more simple stuff is too much of the stuff is just reused, rehashed stuff that's just made by people who have no concept of how to tell a good story. Which is why you keep seeing towns that look the same. They keep using the tropes over and over again, but they never do anything with them. They just reuse the tropes. Everything is just always played out with this hyper convenient scenarios. Too much of it is just like, I don't have to watch this. I know exactly what's going to happen. I know all the beats. This is just boring. The more philosophical stuff that I'm sure is going to get a lot of people pissed off is I'm just gonna freaking quote the video I made yesterday. A lot of people watch it with this sense of, man, if that was me and I could get reincarnated with all of my memories into a new life but have now magical powers, I'm sure I would be awesome. It reminds me too much of that high school quarterback who's 40 years old, balding and fat.
The sitting back, like, I would do that better. Like, I would have made that touchdown pass.
Al Bundy.
Yeah.
That's
what I loved about the I Am Atomic episode is because it's a joke about the whole trope of the genre itself. Like, he does this one super move, and then he goes back to just getting his ass beat every episode. That's it. That's all it is. That one episode, he just does that.
So you think it is actually so Corpus? You think it is aware? You think it is self-aware?
Oh, it's totally aware. He talks about it all the time. He's like, I have all these superpowers, but I have to be a background NPC character. Like that's his whole character arc. He's like, I want to be the hero, but I don't want to be a main character. I have to be a background character. So everything he does just backfires on him because he's like, oh, well, I'm just going to get my ass beat in this Coliseum fight.
And he gets thrust into it.
And then all the chicks fall in love with him. Like, oh, he's just doing this because he loves me. And he's like, he falls into all this shit by failing at everything because he's doing it on purpose.
Real quick, to go back to our jobless reincarnation, one of the things which I loved about it is that it specifically touched upon this exact thing, where the main character spoke about how people like him would have these fantasies, but then he actually happened to him. He's like, wow, I have not changed a damn thing. I'm still a loser. And that's one of the ways which he begins to fix himself when he realizes, hey, it's not just get reincarnated, everything is all hunky-dory. I actually have to put in some effort.
You have to put in the work, yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to partially agree.
Which is a very true story, by the way. Like in general, like I do like stories, and this makes it based recommendations, so I put that out there because I do feel like having to put in the work is core to that, right? Like having a good story that's grounded in reality and in truth shows somebody that has to fucking grind to get where they're going and doesn't magically I don't like the stories either where people are magically good because they happen to be magically good. Now with isekai, I can understand if, for example, their entire existence is shown as grinding and they're bringing back the grinding experience, right? Like I spent an entire lifetime of grinding, and therefore in my retake, right, when I do it again, I've got that grinding experience. I can get that, right? I get that, right? So you've ground, right?
Yeah.
It was part of your story. But if it's just purely magical, like, oh, I just suddenly, because I'm a 20th century person or 21st century person who's isekai'd, and now I magically know all this, no, right? Or now I magically know how to like invent a spacecraft. Let's be real. If someone told you, if I isekai'd the T-Man, right, and I isekai'd you back to, the Middle Ages, you probably couldn't construct a cell phone, right? Like from ground up, I can't, right? I can't build this by myself, right? Because I'm magically a 21st century person. What's up, Corpus?
Did you just reference In Another World with my smartphone?
No, is that a thing? I did not.
Yes, there is a show.
That's the original. That's one of the original isekai shows.
It's also one of the worst. It's also one of the worst.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't watched it. It's people. Nobody has recommended it.
It's one of the main go-tos when people talk about bad isekai.
Another good one is My One Hit Kill Sister.
I tried to watch that, and I couldn't do it.
I just thought it was hilarious. The younger brother obsession of the older sister, and she magically gets pulled into this universe with him, even though he's in a coma, and she just murders everything, and he can't do shit. It's just great. But he gets all the credit.
Yeah, that's the one part about that would be kind of funny, but I tried watching it and I just ended up dropping it after the one. My deal with Eminence in Shadow is it's a power fantasy-esque type show, and they can only go so far with it. And I've got it on the list. I've only seen the first 10 episodes of the first season. I'm meaning to finish it, but I haven't, so I haven't seen this current season. Although I will say Kadokawa did create a nice little short, which I hope they put a real translation to, where the Cid, or the guy from that, meets up with Lord Monmongma of Overlord, and they have a little thing that goes. They released that a few days ago, and it looked funny. And those that know Japanese, from what I understand, they laughed their asses off at it. So
I believe it. The current Eminence in Shadow is. I just love how it's on second season, and he still thinks all the women that are in love with him going after this cult, he still thinks they're pretending just to make him feel better.
And that's part of the joke of Eminence in Shadow.
That's part of it. Let me get some of these super chats because we've got a lot piled up here. Leprechaun Gold gave me a $20 super sticker. Thank you so much for the Shiba. Appreciate that, Leprechaun Gold, and appreciate your support of this channel you guys help me do this and bring on these base chads over here. What other channels bringing you this base anime content? Nobody.
Hi.
Excuse me. Okay, and the team.
Hello.
It's not Petcast.
Well, sorry. I got this. What other lawyer is bringing you this base anime content? Just me. That in bringing on these guys.
I have watched enough YouTube lawyers to call myself basically a lawyer as well. So
yes,
I don't think so.
You are more of a competent lawyer than a lot of the LawTube adjacent people. So of the smaller channels, I'll give you that right now.
Yes.
Speaking of gay lawyers, Jackal Zotero Argentin says Rackets was dressed like that because he was going to a party on Lincoln Road in the 90s when it used to be infested with a kind of maricas. Even the fairies were put off by. Yes, he did look like an F slur for sure. Absolutely agreeing with that one in the case of Rackets. Randy H says currently reading through Musho Tensei light novels and would recommend to read ahead of it if you can't watch the rest of season 2 in April. Volume 9 is your jump on point. So thank you for that. Charles G says, I don't see you walking around Tokyo. What the fuck? I've been lied to. No, I said I'm going to do my walking around Tokyo streams. Will probably be more locals if you guys want to check into locals. I already did one that way. I'll do another one that way. But I don't like to do it for YouTube simply because if something pops up or something comes up with YouTube, it's harder for me to remove it or do it while I'm on my phone, versus locals. They don't care. YOLO. It's all good on locals. There's some spicy stuff in I'll walk by and there's like, oh, it's a very scantily dressed maid, and maybe YouTube won't take kindly to that. I don't know. Or like a girls bar.
Andrew.
Right. If you guys know what a girls bar is, there's some advertising for girls bars that are pretty spicy. I'm not going to lie. Yes, girls are so gross. Deha Ko says, surprise serial experiment lanes is seldom brought up. Very prophetic on the current state of technology and societal consequences.
I talked about it.
He has talked about it. We have talked about it. It's an older anime. We're currently talking mostly about stuff that came out now, but we definitely, you're right. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that. Super based.
Extremely.
Yes. Also, next, Gen Z Val says, watching Isekai inspired me to write my own Isekai novel that I'm working on. Oh, congrats. Hope to publish a web novel on various sites once the book is on. Gen Z, let me know, and I will help you promote it.
Absolutely.
My Isekai novel is about a teen kid who gets summoned to be the new champion of the Empire. Only he doesn't know that the Empire are human supremacists that enslave other races. Ruh-roh! Ruh-roh!
Yeah.
Slavery! You're going to get Shield Hero controversy there, Gen Z. You're going to get fucking Shield Hero controversy. Despite the fact that the guy is A+, despite the fact that the people are like, slave me, daddy, right? Like, literally, I wasn't going to jump ahead to Shield Hero, but I'm going to jump ahead to Shield Hero.
Shield Hero's good. It kind of fell off during season 3, though.
You think it fell off, Corpus? I'll let you.
Or not season 3, season 2. Season 3 picked back up. Season 2 was kind of and then I watched season 3. I was like, okay, this is getting better. I have the whole manga series. I have the whole series. I have all the Figma figures for the franchise, everything. I love Shield Hero, but season 2, was just, they tried too much with the CGI with it, and I was not a fan.
The PlayStation 2 graphics,
yes,
I will agree.
Did with the new Berserk.
Yeah, that kind of ruins it for me because the whole point of Berserk was the drawing and the art, and if you give me some cheap 3D bullshit,
dude,
sorry.
The Dreamcast Berserk sequel looked better than the new series they've been putting out.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the. I'm really not a fan of the over CGing. Real quick here, locals. Let me just knock these out. C3 Metal $1 says you should show off our dank hentai memes. I can't. They're too spicy. Butter Biscuit says Alderman on the Sky was one of my favorites. It shows the beginnings of a guy who eventually becomes a general and lead his team and troops to victory in the laziest way. Great time with this one. Very underrated and only had one season. Nice. So Alderman of the Sky. Xander's Rant, what's up? Over here in Japan, we met the other day. Says, what do they think of the new Kenshin? What are everyone's rates? Nick's our Luke Skywalker jacket. Well, we all think Nick is a extreme flamer for the jacket, but the new Kenshin.
The
what
new
do you guys
Kenshin
think
is
of that?
fucking phenomenal. It's literally a remake. It's just like they did with Urusei Yatsura. It's a re-release of the original franchise with upgraded animation and art style. They actually go. It's a lot more in depth with his background. It's got more violence and gore in it than the original series. I own both.
Yeah.
So
in terms of anime, it's fantastic. Though it is making it kind of clear to me that Rurouni Kenshin is a bit of a silly anime.
It was always silly.
I know. I'm just. It's a show which I don't understand. I'm not saying it's bad. It's still good. But for it to be this popular, like 30 years later, I can't comprehend it. It's not a 30 years later type of popular show.
It's
at least not to me.
Base. I mean, I grew up with Kenshin was coming out when I was like 16.
So for you, it's nostalgia bait. It's like just like they got you in nostalgia. I mean, that's going to be
the same thing with Urusei Yatsura 2022 when they re-released that. They stuck. The only problem that I had with the remake and re-release of the Urusei franchise is they censored a lot of the nudity. I mean, there wasn't a lot to begin with.
Yeah, there's no nudity.
Yeah, they still censored it out. But Kenshin is
it's weird how that works too, right? Because we're supposed to be like more open and progressive and
but no, we're not.
now. But now we have like way more censorship of like
at least
basic
they got
stuff.
actors that are vocally similar to the originals. That was fun.
Yeah, that they did.
Yeah, and the new Kenshin is on point with the manga. It's got more of the action base in it, and each episode in the new franchise is identical to the original '94 franchise. So.
By the way, I'll second this comment here because this Jackal's kind of agreeing with us earlier, saying a major problem with modern anime is everything looks the same, everything looks clean, and everything looks CGI. It's not as bad as Western media, and it's Tumblr art vomit at least. No, I can see that. I can see that issue with a lot of different animes. Although I will say, like, there are some that do CGI right. Like when we were watching, we did our Weebcast, which I'm going to get back to when I'm in Thailand because it's too hard for me to do that while I'm traveling, while I'm out here. But we watched Shangri-La Frontier, Brandon and I. And that's definitely computer generated, but it looks really fucking good. So
they did the cell shading right.
Yeah. And like you can do it right. It just
just got to take the time.
Cheap. Yeah, there's a way that looks fucking cheap, and there's a way that looks good.
Yeah,
right?
And I have to agree with Corpus on this and expand a little bit. I'm old enough for all of these shows because they all came out when I was either very young or a teenager. I never saw the original Urusei Yatsura, and I never saw the original Kenshin. And I absolutely freaking love Urusei Yatsura. I love the new series. It's funny as fuck. It's so good. It's perfect. Lum is the OG waifu. If you want to know who the OG is, that's the OG.
Lamu.
And then Rurouni Kenshin. Perfect. I love Rurouni Kenshin.
I never watched the anime of Kenshin. I just read the manga.
I own the original Kenshin on DVD still because it hasn't come out on Blu-ray. I own the original Urusei Yatsura DVD releases. And
I want to get them.
The Blu-ray releases that Sentai is it Sentai or not Sentai?
Discotheque. Discotheque Media put out all the movies.
Discotheque is re-releasing all the Blu-ray for the original series, and I have all the movies already on Blu-ray. And I already owned all the movies. I have all the original movies on fucking VHS. So I mean, I still have Berserk, the original box set from.
I have it too. I have it too in Miami. It's there in Miami. It's with my family there.
On VHS, Andrew?
On VHS, I have one that's recorded on VHS.
The original Berserk box set on VHS. I have that.
Okay.
And I have the original Trigun box set. So
I do have that. I do have fucking that. That I do have on VHS. So
it's good stuff.
Trigun is real old school.
Have you seen the new? So the new Trigun.
I did a Wolfwood. My first cosplay I ever did was Wolfwood.
Wolfwood is cosplay. So did you suck on a lollipop? Because that's all he does now. He sucks on a lollipop. The new Trigun is fucking garbage.
No.
And you see, I liked the new one. I love the original, but the way that I treated Trigun is basically how I treat. Hold on, my brain just died. Hold on, reboot. Straw Hat Luffy. It's how I treat it. When it goes to One Piece. When it goes to One Piece, you have the manga, you have the anime, which then has its own 100-ish episodes of filler, and then you have the live action. They're each their own entity.
Well, hold on. I haven't asked you guys this. This is something that I don't think we've talked about, and I definitely haven't asked all you guys. Like, did all you guys like the Netflix adaptation of One Piece?
I didn't like the anime adaptation of One Piece.
So you mean you don't like the anime, right?
I'm probably the oldest one in this group right now. No,
that wasn't my question.
No, I know. I didn't watch the Netflix version because I didn't like the anime version.
Okay.
Well, actually, I was told by Yellow Flash, and actually his point of view. This is I think Flash hadn't watched One Piece until
he hadn't
after this came out. And it seems like the people that did not watch the anime actually like the live action more than the people that watched the anime.
See, but I also heard that about the Cowboy Bebop live action. People that didn't watch the anime like that, and that was garbage too.
No. Nobody fucking liked that. Nobody actually liked that. Nobody would
dare come out of that. No one will come out of that closet and say, "Yeah, I like that." But as far as
I haven't met somebody who liked the Cowboy Bebop live action remake. I have not met anybody.
I made the mistake of watching the only live action anime remake I watched was Death Note, and I was like, "This is fucking trash. I'm never watching one of these."
Yeah, I must admit, Willem Dafoe as Ryuk
Willem Dafoe was
perfect.
the saving grace. Yes, Willem Dafoe.
But everything else
is
trash.
Saving portion of that. Everything else is trash.
So I'll answer that question because I'm on my One Piece journey. I've got the manga. I'm trying to read it, although trying to get a hold of the volumes from my local store has been tough because he's been selling a crap ton of them.
So you're trying to read the physical manga.
Yeah,
you're
I'm trying to read the physical manga. I've been watching the anime. My waifu and I were up to. We just got done with Skypiea, where they got dropped out of Skypiea and are now in the middle of a marine base. I love the anime. I love the manga. And I liked the live action.
You liked it enough to say you liked it. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, so the way that I treated it, I have to treat it in 3 different ways. Comparing it to its contemporaries that have come out this year, it's a 9 out of 10.
Well, yeah, comparing it to other live actions, it's like, yes, it's
easy. That's an easy one.
Yeah, sure.
Comparing it to other shows from Netflix, same deal. Comparing it to itself against the anime and the manga, it's more like a 6 out of 10. I understand what they had to do to try and trim it down, because who knows how many seasons they're going to get. Netflix has a very bad habit.
And I will nick them on this. This is why there might be, I'll say maybe I might drop it to like an 8 or an 8.5. I know it's not that bad, and I know it doesn't make the whole thing woke, but the Fishmen and
that was bad. That wasn't very
and bad. Like okay, I'll just say this. There's some characters that are very sexy characters that are very great that they could have just cast a little better. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not that mad that they made, was it Nami's sister, right? Like, but if you look at Nami's sister in the anime versus the way that she's portrayed, very kind of like frumpy looking, like you could spice it up a little bit. I don't even care if she's black. Don't care. I don't care about race in One Piece because it kind of doesn't fucking matter. But what do you say? Who said lies?
I did.
Yeah. No, I really don't. I really don't care, right? Because that fits the theming of One Piece. But that being said, make them look good, right? If you're gonna put it in there, you got to make it look good.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. That's the one thing that Oda's always done. All of his characters, they do look good. He makes them look good. Even the ones that are supposed to be, trashy, frumpy people like Alveda. She still gets dolled up esque. Or
yes.
Eventually, when they go up against Big Mama, I think that's her name, Big Mama's crew. Yeah. He goes all out. So it's an interesting thing.
They could spice it up a little bit, like give Nami the padded bra. Like, I get it. I get that it can't be like anime proportions because like anime is ridiculous. But like, there's an ability to make it spicier. Don't tell me it can't. Don't tell me you can't do that. But T-Man, you've been a little bit silent. I want to know your thoughts.
Is One Piece a new thing that's coming out, or what is
One Piece live action? You have not seen it?
What is One Piece?
What is One Piece? That much hate.
I'm not a One Piece guy.
Okay,
I've
that's
seen
your
a few.
answer, then.
I've seen the first few episodes. It just didn't feel like it was for me, and just I didn't watch it. That's all.
Well, that's your answer. That's fine. That's totally.
It was the big thing around that same time. Naruto came out. It was just something that just carried on, and then you start watching it, and you're like, okay, this is decent, and then 100-something episodes in, it's like, oh, they're retelling the whole story again.
Right. Right.
Yeah, no, I just can't get into that shit.
And I get that. I get when people are frustrated like that. Speaking of which frustration, let me read this $2 tip from Butterbiscuit, who says, honestly, what Legal said about the indecisiveness of characters is why I don't watch much anime anymore. I've spent more time reading Chinese manhwa and Korean manhwa. The main characters are decisive, more brutal in their fights, and they usually make the move on the girl or completely ignore her, unlike the stupid love triangles in anime. I dropped Eminence and Shadow manga because the main character always treated everything like it was a role play or a joke, and that gets aggravating. Well, I'll say this. I think I've said this publicly, but I also read a lot of those manga recaps, right? Those are like, or listen to them. There's like the manga channels and the Korean and Chinese manhwa channels. I'll put those on in the background because a lot of those are really good to play in the background. And you are right about them generally being more decisive and based. Like they literally, I'm reading, there's a Chinese one, and literally they call out people for simping. They're like, you are simping for this fucking hoe. It's like this girl is making everybody simp for her, right? Like, and then it's so clear, like they see some of these things, but that's also a difference. I will say, anybody who's been to Asia, like I lived in Asia, right? I can tell you there's a massive difference between the cultures and their like gender dynamics and dating dynamics. So that's actually very true for like Korea versus China versus Japan. Right, like their whole dating dynamic is radically different. So that's reflected in the anime and in the manga. Go ahead, T-Man.
Real quick, I gotta go completely off topic, but since you're a lawyer, man, you probably want to know about this.
Yes.
Sam Bankman-Fried has been found guilty on all counts.
SBF is guilty.
Oh,
Good.
wow.
Lock that fucker up and throw him away. Throw away the key.
That's kind of surprising to me. So
yeah, guilty of fraud. Guilty of fraud on all 7 counts. In the FTX trial. So yeah, Sam Bankman-Fried is guilty. Awesome.
I have gold.
Just want to let you know.
Andrew.
Wait, what? That's
that's
totally out of nowhere. Why would you bring up Golden Boy? Corpus?
Because you watched it the other week, and I'm like,
yeah, I watched it not knowing how much titty there was in that. I'm so glad I watched it on Rumble because it is very like.
Did you ever rewatch it in English? Because honestly, that show is what got me into enjoying certain studios' English dubbing. Is how hilarious the English version of that.
It's just so bad that it's like good.
If only my hands.
It's like Ghost Stories.
Oh, Ghost Stories is fucking amazing.
Okay, I do have a quick story I have to tell. I did a broadcast and I showed like a first minute and a half of the first episode of Ghost Stories. Of course, doing the fair use, stopping and starting. Yeah, Aniplex tried to full copyright strike me on it. They tried.
Why would Aniplex? They don't
because that's who supposedly has it. They copyright claimed that. Instead of just taking it down, they hit me with a strike. And YouTube granted the strike. Except a day later, they came back and said, yeah, the Aniplex people didn't fill out the paperwork right, so we're reversing everything. Yeah, I deleted that and made it a Rumble exclusive.
Yeah, you know who owns it is Sentai Filmworks now.
But speaking of stuff that is along the lines, I've got a friend of mine that's out in the chat right now, Clifton 3D. He's a wholesome guy, and we started talking about Clifton 3D. He's also my editor. He started doing that for me, and he's pretty good at it. He's getting better at it.
Is this the thing you're sharing here right now?
Yeah, we started talking about here's something wholesome for you, and he didn't quite get it until we explained a few things.
Oh yes. I have that on VHS too.
I know exactly where you're going with this one, my fucking.
I hate myself, motherfuckers. I have black.
All of you are filth.
It's a Christian anime. Look, Scullier, it's a Christian anime.
I also have Desert Punk on VHS. Okay.
Desert Punk is really good.
It
Physical
is.
Punk is really good.
I'm waiting for a Blu-ray
Fucking
release. I need the
degenerates.
Blu-ray version. I need it.
Real quick, we got Rumble over here. I want to make sure that I pay attention to the Rumble ghetto because I love you guys. Rokahora says for $1, random trivia. Ron Coleman is the last person on earth who orders a rusty nail at a bar. If someone, okay, I was a bartender for a while. If someone orders a fucking rusty nail, I would probably laugh. I would probably laugh. Rakahora says, if you're looking for isekais with ED related arcs, I didn't know there was another one other than Shield Hero. Sorry, other than Jobless Reincarnation. Sorry, not Shield Hero, Jobless Reincarnation. The Great Cleric has an MC that grinds out his skills and takes a supplement that destroys his libido.
See, I tried watching that show. I had to drop it after 6. It's
okay.
I don't mind the grind. I do like shows where the guy does have to figure things out, but man, the amount of grind time he had to put in for the amount of payoff was way out of whack. So
yeah. And of course, last here but not least, Darmouth says, "Whoa, Bible Black. Wait a second. yeah. Definitely not that episode. Like, that is a separate episode. I'll do it. You guys out there, I will do it. It will be Rumble exclusive. I will do
have
it.
to be.
Yeah.
It should be an OnlyFans exclusive if you're fat.
Well,
You're getting-
and only
They get pretty close to that with that.
Only
And-
DJs. I'll have to keep T-Man out because he will be there with his flamethrower to purge us
I mean,
all.
there's another isekai that I really like, and I cannot remember the fucking name, and I'm trying to look through my list.
Another isekai?
Yes, it's
Well, maybe
it's about the it's about Nazis.
it's about Nazis.
Tanya the Evil.
Yes!
The evil.
Tanya the Evil.
Tanya
that's
the
it.
Evil.
Yes,
Yes, Tanya the Evil. So
That
you
is
got
the
that
whole-
pretty quickly.
that's a glorious one.
Yeah,
what's
isn't that
it
For
called?
some reason, I kept thinking it was
Yeah, it's
Annie
old.
something. I was like, well, that's my sister's name. She's not. Oh, she is part German, so.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a different relationship with Germany here. Like, they only recently had to kind of take down the Adolf Hitler bar. That was like kind of near, like past Yokohama. Leprechaun Go $4 super sticker. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Redneck Ram for 10 says it helps that T-Man has attracted some smart people to his Discord. Of course, he's also attracted a bunch of filthy degens. So the good with the bad, I suppose.
But I keep
T-Man.
them on a leash. Yes.
So you do attract DJ. You do bring them in.
I keep them on a leash.
Like a kinky leash? Or like
Not
what
a
are we
kinky
talking
leash,
about?
a
Okay.
control yourself leash.
Okay.
Honestly, I think it's one of the reasons why, again, everyone is going to say this about their own Discord, but I actually mean this. My Discord is just one of the best ones that's around, just because I've noticed that when people let too much stuff in, everything just spirals out of control. So
Well,
I keep just enough of a leash on the stuff so everyone can actually just have a good time. Stop worrying about the hentai. You can find it literally anywhere else. Because there have been some people who have been annoyed that I don't have hentai in my Discord.
I am of the opinion that you make a section for it, and it must stay within that section, and it is not allowed to go anywhere else but that section of the Discord, which is fully disclosed. Everyone knows that is the section, and anywhere else, it's
You don't even have a section for me. I won't even allow a section, just because I've just noticed that certain things attract certain people that I don't want to attract. So I just give a blatant no hentai rule. Lewdness, you got to keep it down to a minimum and don't make it like a constant habit of posting. It's got to be relevant to something. It's a fun Discord. Come on by. I really enjoy it.
Good.
Again, not just because it's mine.
Jackal Zaterangentum says, if a modern person gets isekai'd into, they'd probably think Game of Thrones was period accurate and promptly get disemboweled by the local sheriff for knavery or insanity. Yeah, no, like if there was like a very realistic Game of Thrones type fantasy world as an anime, right? Like, and if it was actually the original way they did Game of Thrones, or rather the books, not the woke ending of the HBO series, people would be getting killed left and right. Women are being like thrown into the whorehouse, for their behavior. I mean, it would be
right.
Yeah,
it would be bad.
It would be bad for most modern people.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Copied Kitty says, I have some anime lovers in my house. Awesome, Copied Kitty. Where is the best place to look for manga or light novels to buy for them online? So what do you guys think? Brandon and T-Man, what's the best place for them to buy manga and light novels?
I only buy stuff from my local shop. This is one that I've worked very hard to stay local on. I don't buy any of my manga from Amazon or any of these other places. Right Stuff used to, but now it's part of Crunchyroll, so take that with whatever level of grain of salt you want to. I try to find a local shop and then say, hey, can you get me this? And they'll normally do it for you. Plus, buy local, help local, and it's been that's what I would recommend to do. Now, if you can't do that, Amazon's probably your best bet. Barnes and Noble, something like that. Barnes and Noble carries.
They still have an anime section in Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble does still have an anime and manga
massive
section.
section.
However, I will suggest if there are mangas you are looking for, go directly to the publisher.
Yeah, or to the publisher.
Publisher is Viz Media. Typically, they'll redirect you to like Right Stuff, which I guess isn't Right Stuff anymore, or Barnes and Noble, and typically if you reach out to the publisher, if they still list it as being published, because I've got there's one series I have the entire series, but the first edition was out of stock everywhere, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, they're not publishing anymore." I was like, "That's not what the publisher told me." And then the publisher emailed me and said, "Hey, we're re-releasing this again, so here's a copy." And I was like,
"Okay." Mandalore Wise says this is topical. ... Dr. Stone, not an isekai.
It's not.
Okay.
Because you mentioned, have you seen Dr. Stone?
I have seen, I think, an episode of it. That's about the guy who's like unstoning people, right?
Yes.
That are all been turned to stone.
Yeah, the cell phone pub was relevant, so it sounded like you were going to be talking about that. But
yeah.
No,
Butterbiscuit 92 says, "I'll combat Corpus with the anime. Do you love your mom?" and her 2-hit multi-target attack. Wait, what?
That is a phenomenal fucking show.
Is it a fucking show? No, is that a real thing?
It is.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
It's too incesty for me.
It's
there's a lot of that with the mom stuff. Yeah,
like it's an example of isekai when I go to why I don't like isekai.
I got it right here. Hold on.
You've got it? Okay, you're literally pulling it up right here. Okay. You're showing your full moves here.
Wait, where the fuck is it? I swear.
Okay, I'll let you find it. Carlos Estrada said Faraway Paladin is a really good fantasy isekai.
Yes, that's what I've heard.
It's like one of the best ones that nobody's talking about. It's kind of annoying me. Like, come on, people. Like, take in some quality.
I haven't seen the first season, so I can't watch this season of it.
Okay, everyone's talking about her mom and the 2-hit multi-attacks. Nobody's talking about Isekai Paladin.
Okay. There we go.
It's a real show.
It is a real show. Wow.
It's
all
pretty
right.
fucking funny.
All right. There we go.
It is very incestual, but it's kind of like my sister, my one-hit kill sister. It's kind of incestual, but it's hilarious. So.
Kind of, just lightly, playfully incestuous.
I mean, it's
just a bit outside.
What do you expect?
Right.
Yeah.
So if we're going with Isekai, there is plenty of he left. Oh, I see how it is.
Clifton 3D, by the way, says Brandon has been isekai'd into Skyrim.
Yes, I have. He was nice enough to make me a nice little intro video for how I got isekai'd into Skyrim. I've been doing a playthrough as if I did get isekai'd into Skyrim, and it's been interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take it.
See
if I have to go to any fantasy world, that's one I would go to. So
Mike Mysterio for 13 says reincarnated as a slime, Garden of Sinners, Misfit of the Demon King Academy, Bunny Girl Senpai. A few good ones, in my opinion. Thanks, Mike. I've definitely seen. Actually, you know what? I don't think I've seen any of those.
I've seen Reincarnated as Slime. I have both seasons on Blu-ray.
I'm actually kind of shocked because usually when people nominate stuff, I've like seen it or I've heard of it or something. But like that one's one where I actually don't think I've seen.
And I have Misfit of a Demon King Academy. I don't have Bunny Girl Senpai or Garden of Sinners though. Those are two I've not seen yet.
Okay, yeah, no, that's definitely a new one for me. Jackals of Terra Argentum says the Kenshin anime is so popular for a lot of us because it was a continuation of Batman, Gargoyles, and Spider-Man, the animated series. You know, the street cape stuff. Modern popularity is because it's a non-gay Marvel.
I call bullshit.
If you want to go back to
You call bullshit on that?
I don't think the Kenshin anime is a continuation of any of those. Like, it's completely different style in general.
Well, I think it was maybe what he's talking about is you were watching it at the same time period, right?
that's what I think
Roughly.
he's going for.
Yeah.
If we want to talk about non-gay Marvel, if we want to go back to quarterly shows, there is a show this season that's really high up there called Shy, which is a superhero show. Yeah.
Okay.
The first episode was kind of iffy for me, but then it's just been growing and growing and growing on me.
Okay.
Yeah, superhero show. Basic premise is that superheroes have shown up on each continent. I think it's just one per continent. The one for Japan right now is, as you can believe it, Shy.
Oh, and that's the one with the Russian that apparently everybody loves. There's like the Russian character with
The Russian drunk with
That
big
loves to
tits.
drink.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I tried to watch that one. I couldn't get past that first episode.
First
so-
episode is iffy, but it gets much better.
Well, that's good, but you know, I've still got 25,
Right.
26 shows I'm trying to watch. So
Yeah.
for
There's
me,
been a
that one
lot.
was too much
That
on the
is-
bubble for me.
Is definitely a
There's
struggle.
there's been a lot that I've ended up dropping. I can talk about those later, but for once I have not dropped. Undead Unluck is
Oh, that's a fun
fucking
one.
I love
Undead
that
Unluck.
so
That's
hard.
so good.
yes.
That is a great show. Now,
It's
currently,
bloody.
I'm watching what am I? Spy X Family's new season.
Spy X Family.
Yes, Spy Family's great.
Mhm.
Ragnar Crimson. Undead
Ah,
Unluck.
I dropped Ragnar Christensen, and I really, really wanted you to like it. I really did.
The only thing I don't like is the forced CG, but the story itself is pretty good.
The whole thing just completely falls apart. I forgot what episode, like maybe the fourth or fifth one,
Okay, I haven't watched.
but
the
when
fourth
they
one.
began to like drive around in cars, something.
Oh
about
yeah, I
it-
haven't gotten to that part. Yet.
Right.
That was
Well, it's
the
just-
fourth episode. Yeah,
Right.
it's
Yeah, technically fifth because the first episode was
Yeah.
a two-parter. It was just like you guys seem to have no idea what time period you want to do. You have no concept of your technology. The main character, like, is he gonna have any challenges? Because right now he's basically just stupidly, pointlessly OP. I'm not
Yeah.
like every
Yeah.
fight is either humanity is forever doomed or he shows up and he just blinks and everyone dies. I can't get into this, and it's
When it
about
gets that
dragons and
OP.
dragon slang.
Yeah,
I'm
when
also-
it gets that OP, like where the main character just has to like wave their hand and just fucking
Yeah.
wrecks everything.
I am
Yeah.
watching the new season of Tokyo Revengers as well.
very
and,
nice.
and of course Goblin Slayer, which I've been waiting almost fucking.
Oh, I have
This
not seen the new
season has
season.
been-
Is the new
Goblin
season
Slayer.
good or not? I have not
Uh,
watched
New
it.
Yes.
yet.
season. So I've seen people complaining about the art style, and I'm like, the art style is a lot more.
It looks the
vibrant.
same.
It's
No,
a lot
it
more.
doesn't.
It's a lot more graphic.
Oh, here we go. Here we
It is
go.
a
It does
phenomenal.
not look the same.
phenomenal.
I
Are you
love Goblin Slayer.
No, I do too.
Okay,
The second
I'll take it.
season
What-
is a
what's the
lot
pro-
closer to the actual manga in terms of violence and
Now that's
Baby.
true. That is true.
in detail than the original.
It's poorly
phenomenal.
animated, though.
It
It's
is
really
not
poorly.
poorly
Yeah, it
animated.
is.
No, it's not.
What you're
It's got
looking
the
at-
same animation style as the original. It's a lot more vibrant.
No, it doesn't. It's not even close. Actually, something which I never really complain about because, again, I'm the prudish guy, but they nerfed the tits for all the characters so hard
what?
that it's
What? Is this
distracting.
true?
Whose
Is
tits
it
did
true?
they
It's
nerf?
distracting.
What?
They built
What?
it that badly.
Whose tits
What,
did they
with
nerf?
like cowgirl or who?
The
No,
cowgirl.
Cowgirl's tits are not nerfed.
They weren't nerfed.
I
None of
posted
the-
about this. Okay, I'm gonna
none
share
of
shit
the
on my
tits
Discord.
are
Hold
nerfed.
on.
I want to see.
Let me
I
find
wanna,
this.
Hello, listen. You show me the scale. I want to see a side by side of those titties on my office desk.
That's what I'm gonna do right now because I posted this on my
Yeah.
Discord because I'm like, dude,
I wanna
this
see
is
it.
distracting for me. There we go. All right.
I want to see it. Because look, I am a big stand for titties. I'm a big stand for juicy, giant titties. And let me tell you, I'm in Tokyo, and I can say from experience, I've seen some large titties. There's some Japanese girls with very large titties. So this is something that I am all for. I am not for nerfing of that at all.
The new intro theme is also phenomenal. Melee did a great job with it.
Yeah.
All right. Let me figure all this out with this sharing stuff.
Speaking of which, real quick, I'll get Rumble because it's degenerate, and that'll distract us real quick. Dharma says, "You guys are talking about Bible Black, yet forgot Futabu." No, we don't forget anything.
So here's a very rarely known hentai, and I want to know if the chat actually knows it. It's called Venus 5.
Oh, I know.
I don't even think the chat knows it.
It is an original parody hentai based on Sailor Moon.
I've never heard
No,
it is a Sailor Moon hentai, and it is called Venus 5.
Degenerate, disavow. Dharma says the illustrator for "Do You Love Your Mom" multi-hit has also created her own R18 dojin turned serialized into a manga and is a VTuber on YouTube. What's R18? Is that like over 18?
Rated 18. That's mature.
So that's spicy.
Wow.
So that's spicy content.
But who wants to read
ready
it
when you
can watch it?
Okay. All right.
Right.
So T-Man is ready with the titty PowerPoint.
All right. So this is season 1. Let me zoom in a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. We need enhance.
All right. So this is season 1. You guys can see.
Okay. Yeah. Those are very nice. Very nice.
Continuing season 1. Over here, just give you more angles to see the size of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Very, very juicy.
Season 2. Scroll down.
That looks about the same.
That's the same. That's the same.
That is pretty much the same. It's a different.
Yeah. You gotta be kidding me.
It looks like she's also wearing a different top.
It's a different. It's
a different top style. So it's not as open. It's
They've got
same
it zipped
size
up,
though.
Yeah,
they have not been
There's no way
nerfed.
this is the same size.
They're right there.
You can see the curvature underneath. It's the same size. You can see the curvature.
They're still
then it's just
there.
totally animated. Because look at this. It looks like it should just finish up just right over here.
But I can
Instead
see
just goes and it keeps going over here.
Come on, man.
Yes. So they're not nerfed.
They
are not nerfed.
They are
not nerfed.
Those are still very motorboatable.
It is a phenomenal series. The new.
Come on.
A lot of people are complaining about the new studio. It's the same studio that does Attack on Titan. I mean,
yeah.
But the art style is a lot more vibrant. The violence is a lot more on par with the manga. I own every single Goblin Slayer manga.
I will.
I have all the side series and everything. The new season is fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. I've got most of the manga, and I've got the steel book of this of the series, and I need to get to Goblin's Crown.
Oh, dude, Goblin! Oh,
Yeah, the action
I have Goblin's Crown steelbook. But have you seen the side? Do you have the side manga for the Sword Maiden?
No, I don't. For the Sword Maiden, I've been primarily reading Year Zero, and I must admit, with Year Zero, there's actually a part in there where the.
By the way, poll in the chat on the titties. So that's in the polls.
Let's
in the
see.
chat.
They are the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
hold on. Let me join this poll.
Yeah. Now you
Is this a YouTube poll or a?
It's a
YouTube
poll.
YouTube. I can unfortunately not do polls yet on.
I have to log into YouTube. Do you know how long it's been since I've logged into YouTube, Andrew?
Speaking of which, hold on. We got some stuff on locals here that also talks about titties, so I have to, of course, show that. C3 Metal says lies. You know exactly how much titty was in it. Pause your there you go, your audio. No, I did not know how much titty was in Golden Boy. That is not true, Natasha. You tricked me on that one. Xander's rant for $1 said most of the new anime seems to follow the Fate Zero style, pretty much background and flash animation, 3/4 view of the characters. Don't do camera angles like they used to in the 90s, or it is trash CGI. And then goes on for another $1, says I saw a side-by-side comparison of the Zoro fight between the anime and the live action. The anime was so much better. The live action is guys who, the live action was guys who don't know how to fight, swinging their swords, not at full speed. Looks like cosplay fighting to me. In the anime, they were speed lines to make it look faster, and they don't do that in live action. Okay, so I think Xander, your issue is like the limitations of real life versus anime, like, yes, there are anime elements that don't exist in real life.
And it would look stupid if they tried to do that.
Yeah.
As I said, considering the limitations, and even
I don't hold them on for that. Dude.
I had a
Yeah.
comment that I can't make because it'll get us banned on YouTube.
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
you know, talking about anime in real life.
Okay.
I'm not even going to go into it.
All right.
But I will agree. I mean, there are.
I think I know what you're talking about.
So there's a big problem. What bothers me about it is a lot of people are pointing this out. Is the anime is it's weaker these days. It's a lot of generated CG. Blah blah. Yeah. So there are animes that have a lot of CG. There are some that do it well, like Burst Angel did a decent job with their animation and doing CG in their anime. There was a. What is
Well,
that?
look, I will just say this. Like, I'll say one thing, one quick. There is a way to do anime in live action that's pretty good, and I tend to like it more when it's done it by like Japanese companies, or if it's Korean or Chinese or whatever. Like, for example, if you guys have not seen Alice in Borderland, right? Like, Alice in Borderland is a manga and an anime, but it also they made it into a TV show, right?
It was a hentai, was it not?
I think they did a good job, wasn't it? No.
I don't think Alice in Borderland was a hentai. No,
I don't think it was a hentai. No. You're thinking of a different. You're thinking. I know what hentai you're even thinking of. It's not. It's not that one.
There's an Alice.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You degenerate.
No, yeah, you're right. I have not seen Alice in Borderland. I'm thinking of the 90s.
This is how I know.
I'm old. Leave me alone.
Oh, you disgusting degen.
No,
spit on you.
I'm trying to. There was an anime I watched recently that they use CG, and a lot of people complained about the CG elements. And I watched, and I was like, it's meshed so well, it doesn't really look like it's CG. And it was a remake of some kind. I can't remember what it is. But what bothers me is a lot of people that are talking about this are, I mean, I don't have a problem with people younger than me, but a lot of these people are a lot younger than me. They're like, oh, well, anime is just rehashed bullshit from last year. And I'm like, it's always been like that. Studios are time crunched in Japan to put out animes.
Yes.
And that's because that's their culture. That's their day-to-day daily business.
I will say this too. You guys don't realize this. Like, even me, I was talking to a Japanese girl, and their work hours are probably some of the worst in Asia. Like, they work an insane amount, even more than Korea, honestly. Like, Korea actually probably works about an hour less than Japan, and it's already bad over there. So, like, the work culture is fucking intense here. Like, it's
because they're Asian. They know how
no joke. They don't fuck around. They're like, we're working today, motherfuckers. Like, there's no playing. Like, we are 100% working. And then once you finish work, you may have to go to a mandatory drinking event or a mandatory dinner or a mandatory company event, right? So, like, you don't get home and you might have an hour train ride to where you live from your office in Tokyo. So you don't get home till like 11 p.m. and be there at 6 a.m. the next day, right? So yeah,
it's like that scene from Chainsaw Man when you get vomit in your mouth after having a few drinks.
Oh no!
Which is pretty bad.
Gen Z Ballot says, as people who have watched Isekai, what advice would you give to people like me who are making their own stuff? What would you like to see in an Isekai, and what would you hate to see? Well, we think we've gotten some hate from the team, man.
Well, I will give some hate as well, because it's not technically, and I've had this argument with people over the years. It's not anime. It's not isekai. It's not Japanese unless you are Japanese, and it is made and published by a Japanese studio.
I agree.
Publisher.
I have no problem with that statement.
There are some people like, oh, well, it's the style makes it anime. No, it's not a style. It is the actual Japanese animation. That's
where it's
in America, it's just animation.
Well, it's like with the Castlevania stuff, that it may be animated by a Japanese studio, but it is 100% Western.
Yep.
So
I'll go like the Champagne route on it with it, right? Like, Champagne has to come from the Champagne region, and all that stuff. I'm willing to go on that. I'm willing to snob on that.
Look, G.I. Joe from the 1980s was more anime than most of the American bullshit that's put out as anime, because it was made in Japan by Sunbow.
a little meme that someone shared on the Anime 101 group. You're watching erotic series from a legal site. You hear footsteps. Your dad comes in during erotic scene. You press pause, that directs you to a prawn site.
Yeah.
Does it direct you to Kite?
Oh no. No.
Because I have Kite as well.
You guys.
There we go.
You guys are just lost and degenerate. Charles G says, I love Ronin Warriors, my first anime, even before DBZ. I've only seen like 5 episodes of Final Fantasy Unlimited. It wasn't that good. I was waiting for Final Fantasy Unlimited.
I liked Final Fantasy Unlimited.
Whatever.
I mean, it was campy. It was campy.
Too campy.
It was very campy, but I liked some of the perks they threw in.
They were on a disc that I bought in a ship store when I was in the Marines. Oh, well, that's cool. Like that's definitely a throwback. Schwartz's Markin from Sleazy, okay, which means black mark. Robert's Anime Corner Store is great. I don't know who that is, but okay. Kyria for 6 MRY. Is that Malaysian ringgit? For this season, I recommend Apothecary Diaries.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Also, I do own the current re-release of the Legendary Armor Samurai Troopers, which is the Japanese version of Samurai Warriors. They released it on Blu-ray. I think Discotech released it last year.
There you go.
Very nice.
Tankrat says, "What are you guys, anti-hero anime or manga?" Mine is Ari Fueta, Irregular Magic High School, and I consider Goblin Slayer as an anti-hero.
Ari Fueta is fucking amazing. Seriously.
I do not consider the Goblin Slayer to be anti-hero. He's just straight up hero.
Why? You think he's a hero?
Well, no. He's an anti-hero if you watch Goblin Slayer Bridged, which is hilarious.
I've got to do that now.
There's nothing that makes him anti-hero. Nobody views him as, doing a bad thing. Everybody slays goblins.
They view him as that guy, right?
Like, they view him as the poor.
Yes,
yeah, but that doesn't make him an anti-hero. He's not doing things which they are against. Nobody's saying, "Hey, this is an anti-killing fantasy genre. You're not supposed to be doing that."
Just is the goblin guy. Like, tell him to do anything but goblins. Like,
Goblin
hey, there's
Slayer
a dragon.
is not an anti-hero, but he is an anti-hero in Goblin Slayer Bridge.
I would say
he's actually voiced. He's got lines, and it's fucking hilarious.
I would say for Goblin Slayer, he's the blue collar hero.
Yes,
he's silver rank. Yeah, he's the one that's willing to take on the jobs that nobody else wants to do because nobody else thinks it's a problem.
And he gets to the hottest chick in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
the cowgirl.
Yes,
the cowgirl is cool. Let's see. Oh, the person that runs the front counter of the
guild girl, the cowgirl, the priestess, the maiden.
He gets to go home to all of them. Whether he likes it or not.
Actually, the maiden, he legitimately had her big naked titties on him to recover.
Yeah.
So that was
the maiden. It wasn't just the maiden; it was the priestess too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And the Swordbane is supposed to join.
He's literally me.
The Swordbane ends up joining their party, so she'll be making an appearance again.
That's good. Regular Magic High School. I have seen that one. I do like it. That one is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Ari Forte, I guess I have to watch. So
Ari Forte is Irregular of Magic High School.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that was the other.
It should have. I think it's got 2 seasons.
Okay, cool. Natasha for $2 says definitely Nerf titty. Okay, looking at the poll. 51. Wow, this is like a tiebreaker here. 51% say the boobs were the same. 48% say they were smaller.
It's close, but
so it's close. Same. It's a splitter right there.
Here's how I'll put it. You guys are a bunch of filthy degenerates. All you have is just tits on your brain, so you can't see things for as they are. Me, a high class person, unlike you, is able to just see all of it. The aesthetic of the breast.
He's able to see through,
Yes.
I mean,
and so while you guys are just like, because you're all a bunch of filthy men, I can see them for the high class that they could be.
Yes.
Your cat agrees with me, T-Man.
Such.
agreeing with him?
Kitty.
Yeah, he's in for it. Speaking of which, Dartmouth says that's nothing. High school DxD shows full titty.
DxD is phenomenal. I have
Yes.
the
Very
limited
good.
release hardback mangas.
Very good. Rokahora says combatants will be dispatched is pretty funny season 1 show. Main character gets points for doing evil shit, like letting the dude clear the dungeon, then kicking him in the nuts from behind so hard he dies. Oh, that's actually really good.
Wait, I have to type this.
Combatants will be dispatched.
I must admit that is funny.
On some of these.
Combatants will be dispatched. No, I always take notes on these episodes and go back to the recommendations.
So has anybody seen Io-chan Can't Study?
Io-chan
No.
Can't Study? No.
I think I might have. That sounds very familiar.
It's about a high school chick whose dad is a pornographic author.
Wait, what?
Oh,
And so everybody knows who her dad is.
Oh, her dad. So it's like that your mom's a porn star effect, you know? It's like, you know, everyone's like, your dad is this degen.
Yeah, it's
I saw the
it's
first
hilarious.
episode.
It's out there, but it's pretty fucking funny.
that is very,
Yeah.
very-
Speaking of being in
It's-
corporate sleep, I don't know if I told you, Andrew, but I'm pretty sure chat remembers because I
Wait, hold on. Take Grad saying Ari Fueta from Commonplace to the World's Strongest and Irregular at Magic High School are two different animes.
no, that's right.
Okay.
The way he had it typed out looked like he was saying it was the same, and then I remembered that Common Workplace was a different one.
Okay, yeah, okay. So let's be clear. Thank you so much, Tankrad, for clarifying that. Appreciate
I've
that.
been told to watch Arfueta.
Arfueta is
Yeah,
phenomenal.
I'm looking up Ari Fueta. That's the one where she is transported to another world with the rest of her class, and they're fighting a demon race war. Okay, well, sounds doable. I mean, sounds
I only
possible.
got about 2 episodes in that one. It was a little bit too heavy on the edginess for me, and I just
too etchy.
No, edgy. Like it's trying really hard to
edgy.
be, trying really hard to be dark and just like I don't know.
If it's gonna be dark, it's gotta be dark. Like it's gotta go berserk. It's gotta go like to the point where people are just fucking getting yeeted like hard.
It's got to be done well. It's got to be able to sink me in.
Well,
it's
it's
one of those-
berserk. You like berserk? I mean,
Yeah.
The original Berserk.
Yes,
Well,
the original berserk.
I've never seen any of the anime Berserk. I've just read the manga.
The manga's
I have-
fine. I mean,
I have
that's
the
even better.
manga.
But I mean,
do you
there's
have
just
the deluxe editions of the manga? The leather bound backs. Oh, it's amazing.
What is this?
This is Arfueta.
Oh, okay, sorry, I had to zoom in here. Okay, cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I've got this really high def screen. So
Yes, it's too large, so you have to zoom in. You know,
That-
no, I got you. Okay, are those boobs big enough for you down there? Is that good enough? Is that
do
fine
these
for you,
fit
T-Man?
the
Me-
T-Man,
No,
is that
no, no.
nerfed?
my problem was that it was just because half the people are actually correct. My problem was that it was just like distracting. Because I'm watching this, I'm like, who is that character?
Here,
Wait, that's the
are
witch?
these too small?
That's too small for T-Man. He needs.
I stopped after that scene. It was just a little bit too creepy. I do not do the 2,000-year-old vampire shit. It's like fucking miss me with that. I know what you're trying to do.
Wait. So you're not a fan? Oh fuck! What's the name of that show?
What were they like really old? But
it's the vampire she looks like she's super young. I know what he's talking about.
yeah,
Where
and it's
you
like,
going
but
with
I'm
that?
2,000 years old, and it's like,
It's a trope at this point. I can't.
let's pump the brakes on that, there, buddy.
The
I just
Vampire
can't.
Diaries.
Maybe I don't know. I
It's
just know
called that?
it's a meme.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
called
just
the
know the
Vampire
meme.
Diaries.
Okay.
Or the show is.
For
Let's
me,
see,
I
what
have the
is
opposite
the-
problem. Things like couldn't log in. Oh yeah, she's definitely
Right here.
14 years old. No, she's fucking not.
Yeah, no.
I do love
C3
the
Metal
original.
sent a $5 tip. Thank you, C3 Metal. No, wasn't the Sailor Moon hentai called Sailor Moon and the Seven Balls? I don't know what you've been Googling, Natasha, but I
Are
think
people trying to disclaim my Venus 5 reference?
they're trying to one up it now. This is what you started. This is what you started, Corpus.
Here, hold on. I'll
Let's see here. We've got, hold on. Tankrat, it says, talking about anime and live action, the worst I think was Bleach.
Did Bleach have a live action?
There was a Bleach live action?
Yeah, who the fuck made it? Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's pretty bad.
None of us know about it means it must have been really trash tier because I've never fucking heard of the Bleach live action.
2018.
Yeah.
Bleach live action.
What do you
Wow,
have
I
pulled
didn't
up
even
over
know.
here? I'm scared to share your
I don't have the naughty parts on screen.
Okay.
I just have the title.
Okay.
And the part of the DVD.
I'm watching you. Okay. Venus 5. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Literally called Sailor Senshi 5. It's a parody.
You are a degenerate.
Oh.
We got you there. Okay.
I have it on VHS. It was a gag gift, okay, for my 16th
Maria,
birthday.
gag gift, huh? Maria Trujillo for 10 says something I find interesting is manga from Japan is still very corporate with the publishing, often suggesting to stretch out the story. Manhwa is very independent and does not give a fuck. And manhwa will just conclude like, oh, this is the end now, right? So, I've watched some of the recaps where it's a 6-hour long video, but that 6 hours is the entire series. So it's just them going through the manhwa and like, it's just done. Like, it's like, oh, okay. That's nice. It's very nice. Also, it's nice that they put out stuff on a very good schedule, right? So there isn't as much delays with manhwa. Koreans tend to be like that, where they're like fucking on target with production dates.
Reminds me of This Ugly Beautiful World. It's a series that went on for a little while, and they kind of just ended the anime. The manga kept going, and then the manga just stopped. There was no real actual end.
Yeah, that's very frustrating. Like, at least come to an ending, right? Just like have an end point, and I don't care if it's like, oh, I still want more, or I could, go for another season, but at least have an end point. Animu recommendation from Blue Fire, who says Zom 100 and Undead Unlock. I think a lot of people have been dropping Zom 100.
Zom 100 is good.
What is it about? Let me Google this.
Oh, that was the one thing with the dude going into his first day of work and then a month later basically looking like a zombie.
Everybody's zombies.
Yeah, basically the world is so bad for him with his work and working for this nasty corporation that when the zombie apocalypse happens, he's like, wait a minute, I don't have to go to work. Holy shit, I don't have to fucking go to work.
So he's just happy about not working.
Yeah. It's I tried to watch it, but zombie shows, I don't typically, they're like a villainous shows. I like the ideas of them, but I can never seem to get through them. So,
yeah,
then,
I can see that.
But Undead Unluck, oh, it's fantastic.
Undead
it's so
Unluck
bloody.
is phenomenal.
And it's got the nice little sticker sensor on the schlong, so no schlongs for you.
You have to censor that. It's against Japanese censorship.
What else did that recently? There's another show I was watching that censored like all the tit parts, all the vag and ass parts.
Oh,
and it's only censored, of course,
What?
on the public release, and it'll be uncensored on the private.
Heavy Metal Dark
And
Fantasy.
This is not a hentai.
That's old school, man. Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy.
Well, there's the Netflix version recently.
I will not want. I don't even have Netflix. I run my own fucking server. I don't pay the corporate bullshit. No, it's not a hentai. What the fuck was that show?
Oh, real quick, while you think about that, some of you might be interested. Today, Onimusha dropped 8 episodes of it.
Ooh,
following
They have an
Musashi.
Onimusha series now.
Yes, it's
Netflix.
it's CGI, which is better than usual CGI, but you can very much tell it's CGI.
All I did was Netflix on the title there, and I don't care.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, but the preview for it did look really good. And yeah, it's Bastard, Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy, Dark Schneider.
Oh, Bastard. Okay.
Yeah, Bastard, Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy.
Bastard.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
It's
Bastard
not Bastard.
is great.
It's not Bastard I'm talking about. No, that's another remake that's actually really well done. That's an 80s show.
Yeah, the remake's pretty good, although from what I've been told from those that have watched the original OVAs and have read the manga, there's too much schlong covering for Dark Schneider. I can't attest to that. So
no, that's correct. So the anime release is very heavy on the coverage compared to the originals. However, I mean it's like saying it's not supposed to be for an audience who wants to look at dicks all day. I mean,
Exactly.
The entire
I mean,
series.
We want to look at the rest of them because the females in there are a very very waifu friendly. So
Yes,
Very waifu
but that
friendly.
the original is it's very Fist of the North Star.
yes. And if you like anything dealing with metal, it of course makes all the references, the spells being named after bands or members of the band, or the land that he's trying to save is Metallicanum, and then he invokes the name of Dave Mustaine, all that stuff. So if you love metal, you'll get that.
If you grew up in the age when Doom was new,
Yeah, which I did. So.
Yeah, that was definitely a good era. Tank Rat says, already put the, oh no, I got the one. Butter Biscuit says, how do we feel about the solo leveling anime coming out? It's making changes to the storyline, like being in Japan instead of Korea, since it was a manhwa. Okay, maybe I don't know about this one that much. Solo leveling, is that the name of it? Like
That's
solo
the name
leveling?
of it. It's coming out early next year. I don't know enough about it to be able to say.
It was a manhwa, I guess, then? I mean, I did not know that was a manhwa, but I don't know why they would change the setting if they're changing the setting from Korea to Japan. That probably would be problematic. I mean, the thing is, look, to be honest, you can always tell the Korean ones because of their names, right? Because like their names are like clearly Korean, right? Like the main character, I think even here, what's the main character? Like Sung Jin Woo, right? That's a super Korean name, right? So like that's like you hear the name, and you're like, okay, that's clearly Korean, but whatever. I think as long as they do it well.
Yeah.
Solo Leveling
okay with
is a manhwa that has been having people screech about wanting an anime for it for several years now. So it's got a lot of hype behind that. I don't really know much about it. I think a couple of months ago I began to read the first chapter, and light novels are usually not too high quality. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to watch it because all the hype is there. So we'll see how it goes.
It feels like it's got Chainsaw Man level of hype, and Chainsaw Man was good, but the anime of that felt like there was something missing. There's
Have you read
it's
the
like
manga?
No, I haven't.
There's
I've got a friend that's
missing.
read the manga.
There's a lot missing. The anime
People
is
say-
good, but there's
People
a
say,
lot
okay, I've seen the chat. People were saying that, it had a rushed ending. He never smashes any girls. It's
No.
overhyped. I mean, that's surprising for a Korean property because usually they do either smash or like don't, or they ignore girls. They're like, be gone, thought, like
Be gone,
which
Satan.
is fine. Like the character, like for example, I'm reading one manga about this guy who was like a dark sorcerer and he comes back to Korea to like battle monsters. But he's like totally doesn't give a fuck because he was in this fantasy world where he couldn't eat Korean food, which I totally understand because Korean food is delicious. So like he's obsessed with like eating Korean food and playing video games. So when the girls try to throw that pussy at him, so he's like, nah, I don't care about the pussy. I care about the kimchi jjigae. I care about the dabuki. I care about Korean fried chicken. Like he's obsessed with like the food. And I'm like, this is a man of culture, right? He's like, all the girls are trying to give him the wop and he just wants fried chicken.
That reminds me of Uncle from Another World.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I love Uncle. I hope we get another season of that. It was so good.
He's obsessed with Sega Genesis.
He's a Sega guy. He was so pissed when he woke up and he asked his nephew who won the console wars.
Winning? And his nephew's like, what are the console wars?
Yeah, he loved Sega. He loved the Saturn, loved the Genesis. Talks about his first love being Sonic when he saw him when he was a younger man, like teenage. I would put he's actually closer to my age, so I get Uncle. I understand him.
He's around my age. He's a little younger than I am, but yeah.
I loved all the Sega stuff too, so I feel him.
So I actually the show I was talking about, I shared it with Andrew. It's Ayakashi Triangle.
Here you go. This one right here that you're sharing. Is this what you're sharing?
Yeah. So you can actually see on the screen a couple of the episodes. You got this cat icon on all these pictures.
Is that a pair of cat pant like
no
icon between
the
an
cat
ass
is being thrown in to censor a scene randomly in the show. So at first
I was like, is that what I think it is? And I'm like,
no, it's so in the original release, that stuff isn't there, and so a lot of people are like, why are they throwing the cat character in front of all these scenes to censor this? But so this is a good show. So it's actually, so what I like about this is it actually is very reminiscent of Ranma Half, because the main character is a dude who gets a curse cast on him, and it turns into a chick, full busted, heavy chested chick, walks around scantily clad, acts like a dude, but is a chick, and all the dudes fall in love with him because he acts like a dude the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
No.
That is a good fucking series. But yeah,
I avoided this one. I got to watch it now.
The public release is censored compared to the actual manga and of course the home video release. Won't have the cat censorship, but the censorship alone just kind of makes it comical because they just throw this. It's like the classic animes when it would come out.
Right.
They would just throw like a random character in the show over like the nipples or anything.
They're like over their face, you know. Yeah, no, I like that. I like that. That's actually really good.
It's very reminiscent of 90s style anime.
Rokahora over here on Rumble says Ari Fuerte is dope. Despite the lolly aspect, even though she's a 300-year-old vampire, when he shoves a giant rod up a dragon's ass and turns her into a BDSM fanatic, it's magnificent.
So that sounds like Bible Black.
I mean, on that note,
or night nurses.
Let me read this comment from Locals from Natasha, who said C3 Metal, who says, for $1, well, it was something I found on LimeWire back in the day. A orgy of Sailor Moon and DBZ and others. What
Sailor Moon and the Seven Balls, yes.
What were your search terms?
You didn't have to find it on LimeWire. It was a Flash animation.
No.
It was a Flash animation. You could have found that on Napster.
No.
It used to be on Albino Black Sheep and
Butter Biscuit. For 5 says, ignore T-Man legal. Solo Leveling is one of the best manhwas ever. The ending was rushed, but it's still good and got a 20-issue epilogue.
Why ignore me? What did I do?
You said it was not. You said it was overhyped.
I never said that.
Oh.
I said there's a lot of hype going behind it.
Sailor Moon and the Seven Balls was also
okay.
Project, I think because when I was reading it, it was like the first chapter was just not well written.
Oh, okay. So that's what it was. So you thought the first.
That's every
fair.
light novel. I mean, a lot of it's just
fair.
people who have never written anything beginning their journey.
By the way, Andrew, something not anime related. I tried to bring this up earlier.
Ooh,
I brought it up in chat a while back. I was studying to go take my CCNP. And I failed my CCNP.
Wait, what's your CCNP? Is that the commercial?
Cisco Certified Network Professional.
Okay, the Cisco
$350 certification. But I failed that.
Well, you fucking suck with your life. Go delete yourself.
But then I got offered. I took a job at Cisco as a network engineering consultant. So there's that.
You're Cisco exam and got a job at Cisco. Listen,
I got a $150% raise.
If that's not a fucking white pill for you fucking losers out there, go out there and get a 150% raise. Go fucking do it.
There you go. That's awesome.
Brad says, I do believe there are those US releases where they cover everything. I am a bad old man for watching my anime through an illegal site. This is how I know. Well, here's the thing. Like you're in the Emirates. Like I'm here in Asia, and actually it's funny because different countries in Asia have different agreements. And in Thailand, it's probably because they have an agreement with Bilibili. In China, that gives no fucks. Like they just don't care. I can watch pretty much all anime for free whenever I want. So like, yeah, there's that. So I typically don't need to like, because they don't give a fuck and they know they can't stop it. It's just like, oh yeah, I can go here and watch it. And it's legal where I am physically. So
well, it's funny bringing up the Emirates in anime. When I lived in Saudi Arabia in 92, 93, DBZ was fucking huge there.
Oh, I bet.
Like Saudi Arabia had bootleg DBZ figures everywhere.
I bet.
I believe
it's
it.
massive over there.
Yeah, no, they fucking love that
figures
shit.
are some of the greatest things I have ever seen.
No, it's good. Favorite samurai anime?
Samurai Champloo.
I was gonna say that too. Samurai Champloo.
I beat you to it. Fuck you.
God,
I need more
fuck
whiskey.
you. You're bad.
You know,
See, I've never seen that.
Samurai Jack.
You've never seen Samurai Champloo?
I've never
Samurai
seen
Champloo
Champloo.
That
It
one's a
came out at the
classic.
wrong time for me, so
That's a classic, young man. You gotta watch it.
Phenomenal. So it's crazy because it's kind of got the. Have you ever seen
Cowboy Bebop-esque?
Yes. Well, it's by the same people.
Yes.
But the style, like the musical style, is very reminiscent of what's that? That fake anime with Samuel L. Jackson in it.
You're thinking of Afro Samurai.
Yes,
Afro Samurai.
It's got a lot of similarities to that, which it came out before Afro Samurai, but
right,
like the musical style is very like 70s trope and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's a good series.
No, it's.
I would say for me it would have to be Ninja Scroll, but then again, that's more ninja than samurai. So.
But there are samurai in that. There are samurai.
Well, I have a problem. With that. Are you talking about the movie or the? Anime?
Oh yeah, the movie. TV show's trash. Movies where it's.
Yeah, because I read it as Samurai series, not Samurai movie.
Yeah, as I said, it's close, but I don't. As far as actual samurai, about the only one that I've really seen then, besides Kenshin,
have you seen
would be
Samurai 7?
I haven't seen Samurai 7. I need to.
Samurai 7,
which is based off of the actual Seven Samurai
Seven
story,
Samurai, yeah.
which
Yes,
is
it is.
very, very classic. I mean, if you guys haven't seen that, like, you have to go watch it. It's Japanese.
Look, I'll give you Champloo, Andrew. I'll take Samurai X. It's fine.
Samurai X.
It's more brutal. It's more
Samurai
brutal
X is going to give it to you.
It's more brutal, so I'll take that.
Well, I already said Samurai 7, so I'm good. I'm covered.
I don't
Hell's
really have
Paradise
a
was
favorite
good.
Anime. Hell's
You don't
Paradise.
have a samurai anime, team?
Favorite one? No, I mean there's ones I like Samurai Champloo. Champloo. I just said my own tea. Otherwise,
Wait, what tea? Samurai
Champloo. Yeah, I have a tea called Samurai Champloo.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Well, maybe if you cared more about me.
Oh my god.
Otherwise, yeah, I don't really have too many samurai anime that I memorize too well. There was a old one. Fuck, its name escapes me. It's like Dororo. Jesus, it's like on the tip of my tongue. Dororo from 2019.
Dororo?
Oh,
Yeah.
Dororo is a phenomenal.
Is that the guy? Is that the lizard guy one?
But that's not 2019, is it?
According to this, 2019. Yeah.
I thought it was older than that.
Well, it came out. The original came out in like 1960s.
Sounds
then
like what a
remade
dog
it.
says, like Dororo.
And they remade
yeah,
it.
yeah, you're right. The re-release came out. Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause I have the older box set, and I've got the newer version. But yeah, that's a good one. That's a good choice.
But none of them are really like. I mean, I couldn't even remember the name, so it doesn't really fit into the category of what I would call favorites, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
Anime,
I mean, nobody said Demon Slayer. That's a samurai anime.
Well,
I mean, it is technically.
They're all samurais, technically.
Yeah.
Demons.
Technically, I don't know.
See,
At
I've
some
watched the
point-
first season of that, but I haven't been able to get myself to watch any more of it. And it's probably because Tanjiro cries his eyes out too much. Although I have to plug this. If you haven't seen it yet, you got to watch Komitsu no Jojo on YouTube. It's fucking hilarious.
Kimetsu no Jojo? What is that?
Kimetsu no
Is that-
Jojo.
Is that like JoJo's?
JoJo
Adventure?
Star. Yes. It combines
Okay.
the two, and JoJo is in it, and it's hilarious. It's so
That's
good.
good.
It's funny.
Did
Speaking
you
of
take
combined-
note of Goblin Slayer abridged anime guy?
I need to, although I have seen Hellsing Abridged, and Hellsing Abridged is fantastic.
That's by Grimjack, isn't it? That's by the same
Team
people?
4-Star did Hellsing
Oh, Team
Abridged.
4-Star.
Wait,
Yeah,
Sleazy, who are you telling me to kick? Like, that's it, kick this dude. I'm like, oh.
if it's from my opinion, a Demon Slayer would all fight anyone in
No,
it.
it's
That
not.
is
No,
just
you got-
way
no,
too
you're right.
overrated. And
By the way,
more time
I
goes
feel
on.
like we have been remiss on this. So, like, Thumb Ugly says right now in Dragon's Treasure, I'm drinking strawberry white currently. So, like, I have to shill because it has been a while. Like, it has been a minute here since I have shilled the good teas for the T-Man, right? So he was talking about, Samurai Chai Plu. You got that right here. So guys, go over to thedragonstreasure.com.
And
We'll
and
put the
do
link
something
in the
fun.
description. I'll
Actually,
do
here
this
I'm
right
gonna do it myself because I want to show you guys something.
You
fun
do
that I
it
got going
yourself.
on.
You do it yourself.
All right,
You
hold
share it
on a
yourself.
second. Let me go over here.
But
to
guys,
my
support the
website.
T-Man. He's based in Anime Pill. You
And use
have
code
to
Mindset,
support.
and you get an extra discount. And Mr. Mindset will get some money back.
Does
There we
Ricada not
go.
do the code anymore?
Screen.
Code Mindset, right?
Window and this one. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. I'll let you share here. Where's it? T-Man, go ahead.
So I've been working on some things, and now several of my teas, and we're going to get more, have waifus attached to them.
Oh,
for Cherry
they come with a
Green
waifu.
They come with a waifu.
Those are too small.
So this is
Yeah.
cherry green. No, it's not too small. And then if I go just to all the teas to make it easier.
Okay, yeah.
Page 3 should be the next one. There we go. Going from Magical Girl, we got
Nice.
Magical Girl Jupiter, Mars.
Nice.
Look at them. I'm quite happy with how these turned out. Mercury, Moon, Venus, legally distinct from any other magical planetary types.
Yeah, I'll put that. Yeah.
And then what was the? Oh yeah, that was River Dragon. That's going to be
No, pin it.
too many buttons. Next.
I don't see my.
Oh, also
PS5
Nature's Beauty. Oh, I have not done that one yet. I still got to upload it, but I just made a Nature's
Yeah,
Beauty. That was the feet one I was talking about earlier. I couldn't get.
For the
regular.
DJs, yes.
Yes. And
Yes.
River Dragon.
Nice.
So now I'm going to
Very
start
nice.
having nice
Very
little waifus attached to my teas.
I
so
think
they
this
can
is
be
a
the
good.
bonus
I think this
thing.
is a good move. I think this is a very good
No,
move.
definitely.
Yes.
If I
I think
drank
this is a
tea,
very
I'd
good
buy
move.
it, but I might buy it
Yeah.
just because of the waifu.
Like now you get your T waifu, you know.
Yes, legally distinct waifus. That's a good way of putting it.
Yes. Legally distinct. Yes.
I need some tea.
completely
I could
legally
use some good
distinct
tea.
waifu. See, now we're all hankering for some tea. Like I want some tea. I got my only. I got to deal with my 7-Eleven brand matcha. You know,
I just want
sitting
more
over here.
I just want more
Um,
whiskey so I can hit back on the wrong window every fucking time.
Torgo says, "Sword of the Stranger is an underrated anime." And that honestly, I'm not trying to be too hentai here, but Sword of the Stranger kind of sounds like somebody's penis. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm sorry, Torgo.
Wait. Wait, I'm looking it up because I haven't heard of that one.
It's just a hentai.
It's a fucking. It's a movie. It's a movie.
movie?
It's a film. It's not an actual series.
Okay.
so.
Okay.
And also
Charles-
continue.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go on. Go with that one first. Now.
Okay, let's read this. Charles G499 says Shield Heroes season 1 is great, season 2 is crap. Also,
that's what I was trying to think.
God of
God of High
God of High School is OP. Yes, that is
OP.
good.
Berserk
of Gluttony is fucking
good.
phenomenal. I've been watching
Ryan
that too.
is a must watch. It starts slow but great. This is all stuff that Brandon, the anime guy, has recommended. I think Brandon, you recommended pretty much
the
all of these.
Berserk. Have you been watching Berserk Gluttony?
I have
have
not
been.
watched it yet.
Oh,
I
I see,
have.
Yet.
I actually. I dropped
great.
it last episode.
I don't want to hear it because I haven't gotten to the last. I haven't watched the last episode.
Oh.
So I don't want to know. I don't want to know why.
God,
All I know
really-
is that all I know
really
is
wanna
his
talk
powers
about it.
are based on his being hungry.
So what's
It
the
does-
premise? So
it does a lot of things
talk
good.
about the premise. Talk about the premise in general, maybe. Like
So
the premise. Go ahead.
He's
let's remove this so we can.
No.
the main character. It's like an overpowered hero fantasy, but he's
Okay.
he's weak, and then randomly one day he finds out he kills somebody by accident, and he absorbs their overall level and
Their
ability.
skills.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so his power in this world that he's in, it's not an isekai. He's just a random guy in this world, and
Mhm.
he's like a page boy who does all the grunt work and the poor people work for people
Right.
like rackets who need to wear studded belts at
Right,
Mar-a-Lago.
because they have to assume their
he
their
assists
penis.
rackets with pulling up his tight pants that don't fit around his skinny legs. So he's a page boy, and he ends up accidentally killing a burglar, and he absorbs his abilities, and he finds out he's super powerful randomly for no fucking reason. And his power is called the power of gluttony. It's a random ability in the world he lives in, where it's the more hungry he gets, the more aggressive his abilities become. And then if he kills people, the more overpowered he becomes. And then he can lose the ability, and so it's kind of like a back and forth with how his powers work. So he'll be overpowered and then underpowered every other episode and whatnot.
It's a struggle.
Yeah, it's complicated, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, the premise is really good. It's just there were several things which it kept doing. I really want to talk about the last episode because
I haven't watched it yet. Don't do it.
That specifically.
Can I just mention one thing?
Hold on. We got $100 super chat. I got to stop the clock for that.
Holy cow!
Anut V dropped a C note who said, "I have missed 114 minutes of this live stream and I am horrified. Please accept my penance." Also, it's good to see you guys. Anut, I accept your tribute. Okay, I accept your tribute.
I only accept if you go and watch Venus 5. If you can find it on the internet.
No, Kingdom.
If you can find it on the internet, send me a link.
No, remove, censor. Do not deal with this degenerate.
The tape is worn out. It doesn't work anymore.
Hey,
right.
Welcome to the stream.
I won't explain the last episode, even though
Chad.
the particular scene is not really too much of a spoiler. But one of my main gripes is the characters are all just, they feel like poorly done caricatures of themselves. Everyone is either just really awesome and nice and blissful, or just so over the top evil that I can't really get into it because I can just kind of see the bad writing.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something that happened last episode. I was just who does this? Like, even evil people don't do this. It's just lame. Is how I felt with it. And then on top of that, the show has way too many moments of convenience. What a coincidence! It's just like,
oh, that just happened. Oh,
yeah. I mean, in the first
the
first episode, which kind of made me almost stop and decided to continue going with it, is he discovered his abilities after killing the guy, and yeah, that's fantastic. So he needs to go and find himself a weapon. He only has 2 cents, and so he goes to one weapon store. The one weapon store laughs at him for having such little money. Says, "Go look in this bin of garbage stuff."
The trash.
So he does. Yeah.
The last episode, because that's
the first episode.
Okay.
And coincidentally, he managed to find a very specific sword that specifically goes with his abilities that nobody else has noticed until just now in this bin.
Hey, how dare you match Star Wars, the original trilogy?
And then after that, he needed to find a way to disguise himself, and so he looks to the left, and coincidentally, he sees a particular mask that does magic and hides the way his face looks depending on who's looking.
See, I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen that yet.
That was like episode 2.
I saw episode 2. I remember a mask.
I don't remember that from episode 2 either.
Must have been 3 then.
Okay.
I've seen 3. I don't remember that in 3.
But
interesting.
When he gets the mask, there's no way it happened in episode 4. It happened well before that.
I don't
know.
I don't remember the mask yet.
There's just too many things of coincidence. It's just.
By the way, real quick, David Muranane for 5 Australian says, Katana Gatari has a nice art style for a samurai anime. I haven't heard of this.
Yes,
You're just saying yes.
Chili Jack says
no. Katana Gatari.
You have it pulled up here. Is that it?
No, that's not Katana Gatari. This is a waifu suggestion for T-Man.
Waifu suggestion.
You want to be the strongest in the world.
It's called "Do You Want to Be This Way"? Is that the name? You want to be the strongest in the world?
No.
It's called "Want to Be the Strongest in the World."
Is it a hentai?
No, it's not a hentai.
Looks
it's
like
a wrestling anime.
It's a wrestling
it's
anime.
Boobs.
Okay.
Boobs.
Yeah, I'm too old to give a shit about that.
It's just a sport. It's sports. It's kind of like.
Wait. T-Guy, weren't you a wrestler at one point, dude? I mean,
MMA fighter.
MMA fighter. Yeah, you. I mean, people haven't met the T-Man. T-Man definitely can fuck you up build.
There's also Keijo.
Yeah, in the past, at this point, I don't know. My body is broken in so many fucking ways.
Don't give up, baby. Don't give up.
I don't want to hear that. Quick, someone rule 34. Damn it! Don't rule 34
Wait.
my waifus!
Wait,
You're not the first person to say that!
There was kite right there on the screen. There was kite.
That's why I'm like, censor!
Leave my waifus alone!
Butter Biscuit says, can we kick T-Man? Don't most animes have strange coincidences? It's literally part of the culture at this point. Anime has incented me. Holy cow, man. T-Man is not becoming the Lofty of anime battle. So
hey, whatever happened to Lofty?
Oh, he's still around. I've had him on a few times.
He's still around taking it in the femboy.
There is a lot of anime that is cinema, but I mean, no.
Lofty takes a lot of shit, but I like the guy.
Acceptable. But honestly, Butter Biscuit, screw you, because it's people like you that make anime shit. Because you just eat just any type of garbage you want. And if somebody wants something a little bit higher class, kick him. We don't want to hear his opinions. Please stop. Shut up. Honestly.
And Blaine's Escape Corner. Can't hear you over Nagoya Station. Kampai. Blaine, sorry I missed you, bro. It's been crazy here in Japan, trying to meet up with everybody and get everything situated. And Tokyo is a giant city. Blaine was staying in Akihabara, and I was staying in Shinjuku. And for those that know a little bit about Tokyo and where it's at, it's on the other side of Tokyo. So he would go back at night to Akihabara, and I would go back to Shinjuku because I didn't live in Akihabara. So I would do stuff there during the day, come back to the other side. So we missed each other. But I'm very glad you are enjoying Japan and having a great time over here. And let's panel about it. Let's panel about it, even though I missed you here.
Real quick, speaking of Japan, they finally formally charged Somali guy, Johnny Somali.
And also just to say, there's been some other issues with some other streamers. Not me, but like Neon is here right now, and then fucking Rice Gum. They just piled like 6 guys into a cab, and like right now, Japan is very sensitive about live streamers doing dumb shit. There was also this Brazilian guy. He tried to sneak onto a Shinkansen, a bullet train, right? And what he did was he locked himself in the bathroom of the Shinkansen, of the bullet train, in order to avoid paying the fare for the train, which is so fucking stupid because, first of all, it only costs like $60-$90, and he's a fucking streamer with like thousands of followers. So he had the money to pay.
I mean,
and
Andrew,
it causes such a bad issue.
Just walk into people's private fucking homes and don't think it's a problem.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the Johnny Somali type and the live streamer. They're getting this thing where they
US.
No, because they'll be fucking shot.
Yes, exactly.
They're taking advantage of a high trust, very polite society, right? But the thing is, what they're making the mistake of is they are making the mistake of assuming that high polite societies that have high trust don't punish crime severely, and that is definitely not true. Yeah, anybody who's been in Japan, Korea, China, anywhere in Asia, they do not fuck around with crime. Once you've committed a crime, it's game on. So Johnny Somali is going to get, I think he's going to get some real jail time because he's
FAFO is kicked in, and he's about to get that kicked to his balls into his teeth, Yakuza style. So
yeah, it's quite the reverse. Yeah, like Torgo says.
If the U.S. doesn't pull out of this downspin into communism, Japan is the only other country I would move to.
It's. I mean. Now, to be fair, their economy isn't doing great either, right? The yen is taking a giant garbage shit. But that being said,
there compared to
yes. Especially if you're not a salary man, like life is actually really, really, really good here.
Well, I don't work there because I work at Cisco now. You just transfer.
Yeah, Magician Sapphire says, "Quick, someone rule 34 of T-Man's waifus."
Leave my waifus alone.
Oh, they're gonna do it though. That's the degenerate.
I have to ask Magician, did he see my list? Because on my screen, literally, when I pulled it up last time, had Tenchi Muyo, Racket of Lotus War, and Slayers in the same screen.
So we're
fantastic. They're all fantastic.
They really are.
I'm gonna have Nina Infinity on to watch an 2 episodes of Redicers of Lotus War, kind of doing the same thing I did with Brandon for Shangri-La. So with Weeb Wednesday, when I'm back in Thailand, so it should be maybe a week from now or 2 weeks from now, we'll do that with Nina. And then, Slayers needs to get some love too. Slayers is very underrated.
I fucking love Slayers. Gowry is phenomenal and retarded at the same time.
Yes.
Same with the Dirty Pair.
Yeah, Dirty Pair is. They just re-released the Dirty Pair manga on hardback, and I love it.
Nice.
Butterbiscuit for 5 says, I said an hour ago, I don't watch anime anymore because of indecisiveness of Japanese main characters. Pay attention, T-Man. I have standards too.
All right, give me a minute, because this is just...
Okay.
Butterbiscuit, listen very carefully. First of all, you full of crap. I don't believe any of this. I have standards too, from what you said. I don't particularly mind too much if people like shit stuff. People have different tastes. Yeah, I get that. But you saying go ahead, kick T-Man, he doesn't like anything, just because, what? You want to excuse shitty writing? If you want to be such a little bitch that you gotta whine and complain that I don't like shitty writing, fuck you. It's people like you that just make things awful.
Hey, I don't like scat either.
Like, goddamn, dude. Complaining so much because I don't like shit writing.
Oh, I love you, T-Man. I love you, baby.
Speaking of
Charles G said, sorry, my daughter just returned as an S rank adventurer. Is good and funny. I don't know what to think of Kingdom of Ruin yet. 8th Son is good.
Kingdom of Ruin is redo of Healer without the
super
hentai,
hentai.
the super hentai part of it.
It's not based enough, is what you're saying.
Oh,
Yes,
it's based. It just doesn't have the revenge aspects of how he has the revenge on these various people. His revenge is more, I'm going to wipe your country out, as opposed to I'm going to wipe these people out.
I haven't. I'll have to check that out. That sounds pretty good.
It started out really good, but I actually had to drop it last episode because it seemed like it was getting too big for itself. I'm not sure if that's a good way to describe it, but
Maybe.
it was like, I don't want to spoil too much of the last episode. Did you see last episode?
I haven't. I'm a bit behind, but I've still got it on my list, and I actually do have my watch list pulled up for when we're ready to just.
Do you? Okay, so let me get that through quick because I know you've got a little time limit here. So
Go ahead.
Let me show. Where's this anime guy? Yeah, I've got 2 people screen.
All right, so here's what I'm still watching. These are either new shows or shows that I've seen the prior season that I'm still watching. So real quick, Shield Hero, yes.
Yep.
Goblin Slayer, must.
Yep.
Freyrin, must.
Yes.
Undead Unluck,
I
must.
haven't seen Freyan yet.
That's a lot of must. That's already a lot of must.
I have not seen Freyan yet.
Don't
You should check it
binge
out.
it, but watch it.
All right.
Let's see. Kingdom of Ruin, one episode behind. I still like where it's going. It's not a bubble show, but it's probably not my favorite. It's okay. It's a.
Is it new?
Watch if you've got the time. This is new this season.
Yeah,
Okay, new
it's
this
a new
season.
one. I haven't started it yet, but it's new.
Firefighter Daigo. I love this show. My father was a firefighter,
This is
so
a remake.
I love it.
That is
Fantastic.
a remake because I remember the
Yeah.
original.
Yeah,
Spy
original,
Family,
yeah.
My
must.
Family season 2 is hilarious.
This one's okay, but more of a bubble show. Haven't started Apocryphy Diaries yet.
What do you mean
Of
by
course.
bubble show? What do you mean by bubble? Like it's just popular now, or
It's a show that for me, I'm giving it the 1 episode treatment, then the 3 episode treatment. If it's okay-ish,
got-
it could be dropped. So it's more of a C tier, but it's teetering. So this one,
I see you've got Dark Gathering on your list. That's a must right there.
Yes.
Dark Gathering is it's fucking hilarious too.
yes,
It's kind
it
of like
is.
ghost stories, but with a nuanced take, and it takes in more of a
heavier-handed
when they
Japanese
cry.
occultism.
Yeah, it's got a very when they cried aspect to it with ghost stories mixed in. It's hilarious.
I'm a
That's
bit
great.
behind with it, but yeah, this is a continuation from last season. And it's the same with Rurouni Kenshin, continuation from
Yep.
last season.
Well, if
and
you've seen the original, it's the same thing.
yeah. And Helk.
It's just updated.
I
That
like
one I
Helk.
haven't seen yet.
Helk is fun, but I can see why some people wouldn't like it because it is a bit different. Let's see. So I got to watch this next episode of Returner. This one, it says that there's more of them out, but they've been delaying them or something. This one, as I said, depending upon how this 3rd episode goes, it's either going to stay and I'm just going to stick with it, or I'm going to drop it. So it's teetering. Apocryphy Diaries, haven't watched yet. I have One Piece on here, even though I'm nowhere near caught up to it, but I still have it because I need to keep track of it. Shangri-La, must watch. The Family Circumstances of the Irregular Witch. It's a funny multicam sitcom type of show. It's got degen parts to it, and it's got wholesome parts to it. I like it. It's funny, but it's definitely not for everybody. Little quirky.
Yeah,
Overtake.
sense.
If you love motorsports, Overtake is a good one.
Overtake is phenomenal. Yes. It's
And
kind of
if
like
yeah. Well, you get how often do we get a show about Formula 1 through Formula 4 and all the other different types of racing?
Especially, if you like that, if you're into Formula 1, then that's like going to be a thing for you.
Yeah. Or MF Ghost. If you love Initial D, MF Ghost is your continuation.
That's what I was just thinking of was Initial D.
Yeah.
That's how I was taking
That's super Initial D. Even the art.
I didn't even know that was. Oh, really?
Look at that. Look at her eyebrows. Look at her eyebrows. Like that's so Initial D.
Holy shit!
Yep.
Yes, I have to check that out. Initial D is a phenomenal fucking series.
Berserk of Gluttony. I liked. We'll see if T-Man's right or not. I don't know. I'm a bit behind on it. This one, if you'd like to have your
we're willing to believe the T-Man.
If you like your detectives when they finally solve the crime, have a blank out and have an alternate personality come out that basically tells the person that committed a crime to go off themselves. This is good. This is it.
That sounds amazing. I'm checking that out.
I think it's good. This is also, I think it's funny as hell. But then again, my sense of humor is a little warped to begin with.
I've got a very dark sense of humor myself.
You'll probably like it then.
No,
I would say
I'm the very end of Gen X. I mean,
well, same here. Same here.
I tend to hang out a lot with like Gen X, like old, like tail end Gen X folks, and like because they kind of get like the elder millennial to tail end Gen X tends to get it because you actually had a window into the analog world.
I remember In Living Color when it was on.
yeah.
Damn, I must be white.
Yeah, I
know. So yeah, that's
this one.
This one's a good one, but I can see why some people don't like it because it is pretty standard formulaic detective show. But if we don't get a ton of detective shows.
It's a detective show. It's like Detective Conan, which runs every week.
This
Demons for Master of Excalibur Academy.
Yeah, this one
that show's pretty good.
Yeah. I think this one will get better, but it definitely has some of those tropey things that cause problems.
It's very tropey, which is kind of why I like it, because it's got the standard Japanese comedy tropes to it.
Okay, now this one, when you hear someone's going to give you a crash course in naughtiness, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Hentai.
Bible Black.
This is more of a crash course in how to enjoy the sweeter things in life. The first lesson that he gives this gal in naughtiness is how to enjoy sweets.
They're catfishing you with the title.
A bit, but it's funny. I do like it.
Rackets and Daisy Dukes.
Got it.
16-bit sensation. I like the first episode. I like the idea of it. It's a little different with time travel involved with it. This is another one of those bubble shows. I just need to finally get the second and third show and I'll know for sure.
Okay.
My Daughter Left the Nest to Return an S-Rank Adventure. This one had me just by the title because
I think someone mentioned that earlier in the super chats. I think they just said my daughter
mentioned.
Returned in S-Rank Adventure. They forgot the left the nest part, but
yeah, I like this one. I don't care how bad it gets. I'm gonna watch it, and especially with the issues I've been having recently with my kid, I need something good.
Well, you have a daughter, right? So
yes, I have a daughter, and my daughter pulled the most ultimate 14-year-old teenagery thing by deciding to run away to her mother's house 2 weekends ago and not tell anybody that she was leaving. Yeah, that was a problem. And of course, Kenshin behind, but this is the list for this season, and
cool.
Yeah, it's a
good list, solid list.
It is a really good solid
list. Did you see any of Tier Moon Empire?
I've watched the first episode of it. I like the idea. That's my problem. I like the villainous, the Sundere villainous type of shows. I like them, but for some reason, there's always something that just keeps me from finishing it. And I think with that one, I like it. I think it's going to go places, but because of how stacked the rest of it is, I just couldn't find the way to twist it into there. But I do have 5 rules for anime. Rule number 1, if you're reincarnated as a baby, you cannot defeat a dragon. I don't give a shit how powerful you are. You cannot do it.
Are you sure, though?
What about your sister? How powerful can your sister be?
I don't know about that. I didn't watch that one.
Okay.
Or you can't defeat a female friend rear. Rule number 2 had something to do with hentai. I don't remember what it was. Rule number 3.
Well, that's a good rule.
Oh, what was rule number? I can't remember rule number 3. Rule number 4, if it's Yuri, it's got to be hentai. Rule number 5, if it's yaoi, it's too gay even for the gays.
Yeah. There was so I went into in Akihabara. There's like this old museum, and it's got a bunch of stuff in it, from like games to old DVDs to everything else, and each floor is something different. So fucking Max Mura and goddamn Josh of Meme Copium trolled me. And they're like, "Oh, go into this floor." It was the BL floor, the boys love floor. I was like, "You fucking asshole!" You know, it's like walk in, immediately walk out. You know, it's like, yeah, I don't want to have any of that.
Well,
Speaking of asshole, though, let me show this for a second. We've got one on Rumble, and then we've got some others here. Mr. Cage 242 for $1 says, "Fuck those guys. How about Devil May Cry anime?"
the original.
I didn't know there was an
phenomenal.
anime.
There's
only
an
thought there
anime
was a
from
game.
2014, and it's phenomenal. They're
Yeah.
They're talking about redoing it by Netflix, and it's going to be fucking.
There is a new one coming out.
It's going to be fucking garbage.
Magical Magician Sapphire says for $9.99. Fun fact: Record of Lodoss War and Rune Soldier Louis take place in the same continuity but on different continents. I did not know that. I really liked Rune Soldier. I'm just sad they didn't finish it. I'm just very sad they didn't finish it. I can see that though. It makes sense. Last Universe was basically the next season of Slayers, the same team and all. I have not seen that. Have you guys seen that? Lost Universe?
I haven't seen
Lost Universe?
No.
I have not, unfortunately.
Wow. Okay, for T-Man. T-Man, why were you cussing? I was literally messing around. But whatever floats your boat, man.
And if you were messing around, I do apologize.
Okay.
But just from
T-Man's
the initial
passionate. T-Man's passionate.
from initial looks, it looks like it was serious. It also, I had to deal with comments yesterday from a Mushoku Tensei video of people
He's worked out.
having similar-ish opinions of suddenly they lose all respect for me and I should no longer talk about anime.
Look, T-Man, I don't care if you have bad taste in anime. I don't have a problem with you.
It's fine. It's okay. I'm okay with it.
I
Just
do
go
have
over
a
there.
question for anime.
Just go over
really
there.
Fast.
Yeah.
There's super chats coming up, but have you seen the egg priority?
The what again?
The egg priority.
I know.
Or Wonder Egg Priority. It's similar to a 16-bit you were talking about. It's a really weird and twisted anime. It's pretty good.
Ooh.
I'll have to
Definitely
check
check
that
that
out.
out.
There's a large swath of time that I was away from anime, so I've got a lot of stuff still to cover.
It's
from the
if you've ever
past.
seen what's that
Wonder Egg Priority, it's called.
Yeah, it's called Wonder Egg Priority. It's got a very weird, twisted style of storytelling.
Wait a minute. Isn't that the one that like Dark Souls is practically based off of?
No, it came out like 2 years ago.
Okay, never
Dark
mind.
Souls
I'm thinking of
is
something
based-
else.
I see
Dark
it here.
Souls is based off of Demon Souls, which is based off of Kingsword, which came out in the 90s.
No, there was an anime in which the creators took a lot of inspiration from. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was.
It was Berserk, which is what Demon Souls took a lot of inspiration from.
It was a different one. God, somebody in the chat help me.
Well, the Wonder Egg Priority is very similar to Boogie Pop Phantom.
Okay.
Storytelling wise.
Yeah.
I know that for next year, one show that I'm looking forward to is Kaiju #8. We're supposed to get our little black cat friend is supposed to come back next year. And, of course, the return of Jobless Reincarnation, Classroom of the Elite 3, and, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff coming out.
Classroom of the Elite 3 is already out, isn't it?
Second season came out.
already
Third
started.
season's next year. A lot of
That's
cool
step-
stuff this season, so.
Let me
Is
get
it-
this right
is
here.
it
Charles
third
G-
season? Oh, you're right. It is.
Charles G.
I own all the seasons, so yes. You're right. It's third.
Charles G says Kakashi is great, Beast Tamer is great, Tower of God and Log Horizon is good. I really like.
Wow, Log Horizon is good. Tower of God's classic. That's good.
Orient is awesome. I've not heard of Orient.
Orient is pretty good. Yep. Gleipnir is also really good.
Gleipnir is worth a watch. Peter
And Peter
Grill is funny. Is that a character or is that an anime?
No, Peter Grill is a softcore hentai. It's kind of like redo of Healer mixed with Rise of the Shield Hero. It's a guy who's not really
Who gets
worth
like Me
anything.
Too'd?
No. He's not really worth anything. He's kind of weak.
Okay.
But he's the protagonist. All the king's daughters bang him the whole time, and they're all like all the chicks are in love with this dude. Like they're banging him under his table when he's sitting in front of their dad.
Just to like, is it like just to piss off their dad? Like oh.
No, they just like are obsessed with this dude because they think he's a hero and he's not. He hasn't done anything. But they're like they think he
perception is reality.
Yes.
Angel's Egg. Angel's Egg was
the
the
manga is fucking
Angel's
awesome. Angel's yes.
Angel's Egg is old and messed up.
Saint Sinner PA says Ari Fueta is one of my new favorites after reading the novel. The final boss is God, and all waifus become OP. Dead Mount Death Play requires a notepad and a manga to keep up with the story, but it's very good. Thank you, the anime shows. Yeah, no, we're gonna keep doing anime shows on a regular basis because you guys love them. You have a lot of good recommendations, and frankly, like I say with movies, it's the same thing with anime. I only watch what's recommended because there's so much out there that I don't have time to waste on trash. So if it is trash, I'm not going to waste my time on it. Yes, no, you are not trash. We love you, T-Man. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, yeah.
How about Darker Than Black?
Is that a hentai?
No, it's not a hentai. It's a very good
that's why is that a hentai?
No,
it sounds like
Black, it's crazy because it's
am I just being racist for
yes it's about the darkies and the Jutes and they're fighting some war of some kind. No, it's I
mean, once again,
I don't have.
I'm not convinced that's a plot line.
I am kind of surprised at one thing. There was a show from let's see, either the spring or the summer. It was Campfire Cooking with My Unique Skill. I didn't think that would get a second season, and it's getting a second season. It's kind of funny.
Come across my screen at one point, and I was like, "What?"
It's different. It's standard isekai. He gets summoned to the world. You've got to be the hero of the kingdom, and he's like, "No, I'm good," and he leaves. And his special power is basically Amazon shopping. That's it.
But you know what should have got the second season that I'm still waiting on is Tokyo ESP.
So I have to give a shout out because I said recommendation. So one thing I watched, this is an old anime, but I actually liked it. Was no. How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. I just watched that.
That's not
it's been out for a while. No, it's like a year or two. It's been out for like a year or two. So it's not like
it's old. It's not like old.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm here with Brandon, the anime guy. I'm here with the T-Man. These guys are on like the bleeding edge of weebdom, you know? So like I'm always kind of catching up. I'm like, people will tell me anime from 5 years ago or 10 years ago or even 3 years ago, and they'll act like I should have already seen it all.
See, that's why I was giving you shit the last time when I was drinking, because I had already seen How a Realist Hero like when it first came out. I mean,
yeah, no, it was really good, and I really enjoyed it.
No, it's a good series. When you talk about old, I'm thinking of old, like my time growing up. Like,
yeah, I know you're old as fuck. Your balls are gray and dusty. I get it. We get it over here.
I'm the same age as Rackets, okay?
Which means you're really old.
But I don't wear studded belts with.
Are you sure though? Are you sure?
No. I grew out of that phase in high school, okay?
Okay. Haikyuu and Yawamushi peddle wholesome sports animes.
Yes, they are.
Wholesome.
And actually, Yawamushi peddle.
You guys can be friends over wholesomeness.
That's the Yawamushi peddle is actually, I think, on Retro Crush, and I want to say that not Sentai Filmworks, but the other one, Discotech. Discotech, I think, has the releases for that.
Discotech does. Sentai is also good. So a nice little form of trivia for you, anime guy. Do you know who Sentai Filmworks used to be?
I don't. I should, but I can't think of it off the top of my mind.
Okay, so aside from Funimation, who we found out is woke SJW garbage,
super woke,
and Sony can shove it up their ass.
Who was one of the original dubbed companies in the U.S. that was never woke, and they actually did Ghost Stories parody dub?
Wait, what? Who?
AD Vision.
That was ADV?
AD Vision did the Ghost Stories dub. Of course, they did the Full Metal Panic dub. They did a bunch of dubs, which they're the company that actually brought me into liking the English versions of anime because they did it properly. Sentai Filmworks, if you look it up, it is one of the subsidiaries that 80 Vision built before they had to file bankruptcy because they were basically scammed by Japanese scam artists out of all their money.
Oh God! At least you know, it's been really bad. The Chinese NFT scams. So right now, they literally have these girls that will like get on dating apps. They'll get on other things, and they'll like slide in Instagram. They'll slide into your DMs, and they'll be like, "Oh, hey, I found you. You're cute." Blah blah blah. Also, I'm buying these NFTs, and I'm making a lot of money. You should do it too. It's like
Andrew, I found you, and you're cute during Rittenhouse.
I know. You did slide in there. Very true. It's very true. Let me get to these. Master Keaton is S tier, and then Tank Rat goes Arc Knights perish in frost. Not seen that one. We'll put that on the list. Obudella says Gunsmith Cats.
Yes.
3-episode
Gunsmith
OVA.
Cats is phenomenal. Yes.
Old school, but great. I do love that one as well. Okay, we have a double team here. So we have Butter Biscuit who said Citric Adam 19. Brought up Cross Ange, another great anime.
Amazing, yes.
Hot chicks in anime fighting dragons, good times. And earlier, I saw in the chat he was talking about the big old titties in Cross Ange. And then Citric Adam comes through with the follow-up and says, "Hail the Butter Biscuit" for the nod to Cross Ange. So
you said
we got
that
a little
wrong,
DP
Andrew.
on the Cross Ange there.
I think you meant Tiggo Bitties.
Tiggo Bitties.
Tiggle Bitties.
Tiggo Bitties is that's the anime way to say big old titties.
The Tiggle Bitties.
And then we, of course, by the way, we got a $1. We got a $1 for Natasha over here on Local. Said Mindset needs more henty, like venti, but henty. Yes. I need a
suggest
very,
Venus
very
5
large.
for everyone. Venus 5 and Night Nurses. Night Nurses. Great.
The fact that I've seen Night Nurses.
It's phenomenal. Night Nurses is a great
fucking
series.
Degenerate.
There's like 50 episodes.
Sin Digital Art 9 says, Anime Guy, read the manhwa of Returner instead of watching the anime. The story gets better in the last chapters with a plot twist betrayal in a war arc. Nice. So you definitely want to check that out in the manhwa. And I appreciate when people say, hey, you know, you need to go to this other thing. You need to go to that anime.
Can you bring that chat back up? Somebody was
Dragon's Treasure. Why are you saying 9 in the chat? I'm very concerned when people start speaking German around me. It oftentimes ends up in invasions of Poland.
Someone said should spell that henty.
Somebody was talking about Full Metal Panic in your chat, and they were talking about season 4.
I love Full Metal Panic. What's
no. The chat you just had up. That's why I asked you to bring it back. Somebody said season 4. So they were talking about 80 Vision.
Yeah. This was the Rumble comments here, the degens. I got to be careful with these guys. Said Darkwind said Full Metal Panic was great, except for the
ADV was a great company. They were. Full Metal Panic was great. Season 4 was decent, but it wasn't great because it was done by Funimation.
That's the fucking problem. The problem is they localized it to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right before they booted Vic Mignogna.
I do want to give a shout out to another company that is still around but doesn't do the anime stuff anymore, and that's Pioneer. Also, they're the Genian division. If Pioneer released it back in the day,
oh man,
was gold.
So great. Okay, hold on. We got another 100 from Anup V, who said, "Should I hate Demon Slayer? I hear about it too often from a lot of different people. Many Demon Slayer cosplays on October 31st. Also, Venus 5 was way too easy to find. Please, no Sailor Moon.
Hey, look, the cat.
What have we done?
But the cat, the Venus 5, you know, you've got, I can't remember the cat from Sailor Moon, but they have the cat recreated Venus 5, and it's part of all of the action.
God damn it. Corvus, you naughty man. But okay, on Demon Slayer, to be honest, guys, I'm going to be very real with you. I have not seen Demon Slayer, and there have been a couple of comments about Demon Slayer that have kept me from watching it. Mostly the thing I really don't like about anime, and I'm going to say this, I do not like the battles where there's so much, they're so slow, and there's talking and crying and stuff going on.
Demon Slayer is not Dragon Ball Z.
Or Naruto, right? Where it's like you have a friendship speech, you know, and I'm like,
their battle, the way they do the Demon Slayer anime it's not drawn out like that. They'll start a battle that's supposed to be heartfelt or hardcore, but it's only 2 episodes. It's not like 7 episodes drawn out.
It's like Frieza versus Goku. It's like
it's not that at all.
Fantastic.
They typically do. Like,
I'm not hating. I'm just saying that's Dragon Ball.
Yeah, but it's not like Goku is getting ready to blast Frieza and having it next time on Dragon Ball Z.
An entire
We will
episode
last
is a fucking
30
spirit
more
bomb.
episodes. Yes.
An entire episode is just charging up the spirit bomb.
Yeah, no, Demon Slayer is not like it's a lot more fast paced. They do draw the battles out between 2-3 max episodes, and that's because they're supposed to be really dramatic fights, and they've also got background stories going on at the same time. I own the entire manga series. The manga is phenomenal. The only problem I actually have with Demon Slayer is they've released films in between the series, like they do with most animes, where the most of the time the film is a recap and then the first 2 episodes of a season that's coming out. Where Demon Slayer released a film that's 2 hours long and it's the first 4 episodes of a season. So then you're rewatching everything.
Well, I don't like anime movies as recap. I like them as like additional content. Like I think honestly, I haven't had a problem with the MHA, the My Hero Academia movies.
Oh, the My Hero, My Hero
those.
Academia anime films.
Cowboy Bebop, Stairway to Heaven. Love that one, right? Yeah. Like I think it fits in perfectly.
Nice callback. I saw that.
I mean,
Dragon Stampede.
I actually saw that in theaters, by the way.
Yeah, Stampede. Good, right? Very, very good.
Yeah.
So,
I cannot wait for Code White. So
the Demon Slayer films, they're not recaps. They're actually they typically encompass the 4 couple episodes of the season that's releasing. So you're getting a sneak peek, but then you watch the next season, and the next season's like first 4 episodes are recap, and then they got like 7 episodes added, so they can add in extra content. But the series itself is relatively good. I love it. It's I've had no problems with it. It's not like I like Bleach. I own the whole series of Bleach. I've owned it since the 90s, and I cut out a lot of the filler stuff. Sometimes the filler's funny. Like I like Cone. He cracks me up.
Bleach got like there's episodes that got me, and there's episodes I was just bored during.
Yeah,
right. And I think that's where Bleach lost me.
And Demon Slayer's not like that. It doesn't drag shit out. It'll 1 or 2 episodes for a battle. That's about it.
I've got a bit of a differing opinion on Demon Slayer. I'm going to try and make it quick because it's something which for years now I've wanted to make a video on. But so in terms of the fights were great, sure. In terms of the story and the story structure and just putting things together, it's been one of the worst things I've ever seen. I only saw the first season. I don't know if it gets better. But I legitimately mean it when I say it's one of the worst things that I've ever seen. It did something which I think is going to ruin anime and writers.
Ruin all of anime.
So let me explain.
It's going to ruin all of anime. So hold on real quick because there's a comment, a Rumble rant, and then I'm going to let you go because it's on topic. It's not off topic. So Roka Hora says, mindset, you got to watch at least through season 3 of Demon Slayer.
Yes.
I imagine the sound Hashira was modeled after you, so it's worth seeing. Okay, look, I'll take what you're saying into account along with what T-Man is saying into account. But I will say, when someone tells me you have to watch through season 3, that's a commitment. Like, that's a big commitment.
All right.
But T-Man's also explaining it like Attack on Titan is going to ruin anime. It's basically the same stance.
In what sense?
The way the story and the artwork and the style of the animation itself is done. Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan are very similar.
Oh,
so if you attack a Demon Slayer, you're saying the same thing about Attack on Titan because their story base is very, very closely related.
So go ahead. What's your point?
I don't see that at all, but there's a lot of things I can cover with this, but there's one particular thing. The thing that made me start watching it was everyone going crazy over episode 19 of season 1. And that's the episode when he was fighting the spider guy and did all the nice little breathing stuff. It's one of the worst things specifically because so many people liked that scene. And I consider it to be one of the worst scenes I have ever seen. Not visually, but in terms of story. The reason why is because the main character was getting his ass kicked and couldn't do a single thing. And then while he was losing, he decided for whatever reason to think back to his dad. You know, his dad, the person who was never mentioned at any point in any way throughout the entire series. Thinks back to him. Oh, turns out my dad is actually connected to all of this stuff that was going on. Oh, my dad also did this breathing technique that I just so coincidentally managed to remember right at this moment. And now I'm going to do this technique after I just remembered it. And look at how awesome I am now that I can do this. Flying around, doing this technique I just remembered, pulling it completely out of my ass, and I managed to almost win. They even took the freaking win away from him.
So
it showed that you can write yourself into a corner and you can just BS however you want, add some pretty bells and whistles, and people will just eat it up.
So I have a big problem with that, with the statement you made. T-Man, have you ever actually been in a physical fight?
Yeah.
No. Actually in a fight where you're cornered, you have no idea what's happening, and you have to get out of it.
Yes.
Because that's exactly what that episode represents. Because most people who get into fights, unless they have proper training, black out and have no idea what's going on. And typically, those people are trained by their fathers, and they'll remember certain things their father said. Now, he doesn't specifically remember, oh, my dad knew this breathing technique, so now I can do it. He just remembers watching his dad do a certain thing while he was growing up. And it hits him mentally and physically. So it calms his nerves, and he's able to perform certain aspects and physical abilities that he didn't know he was able to do. So your take on it is basically saying the human experience alone is bullshit, because the way it's written is very human experience-esque. And
T-Man has generally been a fan of the human experience. I mean,
I'm just saying the way you explain why you don't like it, it's very weird, because I've been in similar situations as that. I mean, I'm part Filipino. I'm like 5'7.5", dude. I've had people like 3 times my size try to start shit with me, and they've ended up in the hospital because I'll black out and I'll remember something my dad taught me. It's that the reason a lot of people
you'll Manny Pacquiao their ass.
Yes,
like,
the reason a lot of people experience that episode the way they do is because they're taught by their fathers, which is technically how most men should learn life.
And real quick, let me just outro anime guy. I know you've got to go, right? So thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that. Dude, I will definitely have you on for a future episode, not just an anime episode where we do these kind of recommendation streams and reviews, but we'll also have you on my Legal Weeb set for a watch party in the future as well. So appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for joining. And do you have anything on the way out you want to say or shill?
Let's see. I do have my Rumble channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do that there, because there are some things that will go there that obviously can't go on the YouTube. And because of things that happened with my Weebling these past 2 weeks, I haven't been streaming during the week, but I will be streaming Saturday, and I'll probably be doing a longer one again, 3 to 4 hours long. So just follow me on Twitter, because that's where I do my notifications, because the YouTube ones typically don't work. Follow me in both places, and we'll talk some anime this weekend, and I might do a made in Japan gaming stream or 2 here and there.
That would be really good. I would love the Japanese game, because that's a separate one. Because I mean, even here, I'm like nerding out. I'm like, oh my god, I can find all these games that like. There's so many. Well, you don't realize, especially when you go to the shops here, they maintain all these old games. There's so many awesome games that were never released in the U.S.
Yeah, dude, it's great there.
Never translated.
There's one shop here in Virginia that does the same thing. They have a lot of Japanese imports, and it's phenomenal. I fucking love it.
Real quick, I'll read this one. Enough for 100 says, to be fair, I think Corpus Delicti has a point there. A lot of Demon Slayer suggestions came from my fellow BJJ gym folks. So they're people with some sort of background in that.
There you go.
There you go. Hey, Brandon, thank you so much, though.
Oh, yes,
peace out, brother, and we will catch you on the flip side.
Yep. Take care, everybody. We'll see you later. See you guys.
See
ya.
Have fun.
Peace.
All
right.
right. Hear that, but I'm not buying it for that scene. It's also a scene which would have been very easy to fix with just a couple of seconds of extra dialogue here and there. Since avoiding the shell, bring up Dragon Ball. The way they did the whole Super Saiyan stuff. It was mentioned ever since the Saiyan saga. Just not a big thing. Just Vegeta said it once in the Saiyan saga. Was mentioned a couple of times again in the Frieza saga, and everyone thought they knew what it was, and then boom, they pulled it out. If Demon Slayer wanted to fix that scene, all he had to do was on occasion say something along the lines of, "This makes me think of my dad," or "Hey, this breathing sounds familiar," or just any simple little thing to let us know that, hey, foreshadowing. Like there's something that happened with some utterly innocuous scene, and then boom, it gets brought up. But it came out of nowhere.
Right. I can get that, like saying that you needed a little bit more of the Chekhov's gun. You need a little bit more of the,
that part I can agree with.
That's fair. I think that's a pretty fair criticism, right? Like foreshadow it a little bit.
The manga actually has that foreshadowing.
Right, and sometimes that's the way it is. The anime can cut things out.
The manga is, the first, the manga itself is 38 books. And,
I guess the anime
Alfarius says right here for 5 says, to be fair, Demon Slayer, DBZ, Naruto aren't made for people our age. I assume you're talking about people like generally our age. I mean, I'm around the same age as Corpus and Dragon's Treasure. So they're aimed at tweens and teens. So friendship is power, Peaches. Yeah, I get it, but it's so fucking cringe.
Wait,
I cannot.
DBZ isn't made for people our age. DBZ came out when I was already in high school.
DBZ is like nostalgia for me at this point. Like my literal.
But what I mean is, it literally came out and I was in high school already.
Right, like my AIM name on AOL Instant Messenger was Bardock and then some digits, right? Like
hey, you know what my AIM name was? You know what my AIM name was? It was Corpus Delecti 666.
Fucking DJ. Carlos Estrada says, I don't like when every villain has a sob story. I think that's actually a Disney thing that I really don't like, the remediate every single villain. Like every villain has to be redeemable. I actually like the animes where the villains are just.
That's why they made Hercules black.
Where they're just pieces of shit, and they're just like, yeah, I'm just a villain because I am a fucking nasty, evil person, right? Like let's commit to that, right? Because there are in this world there are nasty, evil people. That's a very accurate representation of reality.
It's like the X franchise.
The X franchise.
Since
the X franchise, yes.
Since
what's that team, man?
Since those 3 animes brought up, Naruto, I actually have my most viewed video on my channel. 1.8 million views now is about
Holy
Naruto.
Shit.
Yeah, it's how to destroy your own world building, because that was a show which I grew up on, and the first half of it was fantastic, and I still say it's fantastic the first half. But then they just threw it all away.
Naruto was fantastic the first half. And
then when Shippuden came along, well, I mean, people resonate. I think it's got also like 15,000 comments now because people have been just going back and forth on what I say, what other people say. There's a lot of things to discuss about it because they took away the whole ninja aspect of ninjas, and
you gotta keep ninja. I mean, because like ninjas were not samurai. Like trying to make ninja into like quasi samurai is like a very anachronistic. It's very ahistorical for like what ninjas were and like what their purpose was.
It wasn't even samurai. They were turning them all into various forms of nukes,
right?
And just so many explosions, a lot of retcons. Like the Nine Tails, there was not supposed to be 8 more Bijou, whatever they call them. Nine Tails was supposed to be its own thing. Goddess thing, that was actually a completely different mythological story that was not part of the whole Nine Tails, the whole 10 Tails thing. They retconned that. They retconned the strength of the Hokage. Because remember, there was that Hokage level battle, and everyone was saying stuff like, oh, he created water out of nothing. That is phenomenal, said the Anbu, which are like the elite of the elite. But then by the end of Shippuden, I mean, like 10-year-olds can do that stuff. So the power levels just got completely insane.
There's like power level creep, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it.
But
Let me
still
get
keep
through
it
these.
going.
Let me get to these because we gotta wrap here. Maria Vargas says DS season 1 and 2 really like it, but season 3 is a movie. I think Demon Slayer. Last season is not my favorite yet, but I'll try the manga. Yeah, always try the manga. Like if you don't think you like the anime, try the manga.
Season 3 was not. It was literally the movie they released. That's what I was talking about earlier. That was my biggest problem. Was I went to see the movie in theaters. However, the season they built off of that film actually expanded more on the story that wasn't shown. So
there you go. Obadello says 2 films, Jinro, The Wolf Brigade. Yes, and Spriggan, classics. I love it. Mwah. That's a perfect last recommendations there because Jinro and Spriggan are both absolutely amazing. Guys, if you liked this episode, make sure you go through and you are smashing the like button. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate all the recommendations, but liking the video always is something that helps to get out there. We had about 150 people here on YouTube at the max, and then on Rumble we had another about 100 or so. So really appreciate that and all you guys checking in on all of the platforms. So seriously, thank you so much for that. And we have one last comment here on Rumble from Rokohora. Says Demon Slayer is worth a watch solely because the final boss is a damn Michael Jackson impersonator. Episode 19 was great for other reasons, but wasn't the best of season 1. Definitely not enough to write it off. You know, I will, based on your base recommendations, I will give it my thoughts. Like the video, smash the like, smash the pussy, give some love to the T-Man. Corpus, you're kind of a low under the radar guy, but I mean, if people want to follow you, I guess, I mean, maybe Twitter, maybe.
I don't really do social media much.
Yeah.
Twitter. I mean, I've got a Twitter.
Maybe. Join my locals.
I'm on locals. You can find me on. You can find me on Andrew's locals. I'm
on my locals.
If
you want to yell at him,
you can find me
there. He is there. Go to that. Buy some tea. Get on my locals, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace out from Tokyo, you fucking weebs. I love you.